It started. Okay, yeah, here we go. Hey, we're back. Hey, I know you guys missed us this morning. Yes, I got my camera on today, or at least right now. Love the little flames because it makes me look all like Wizard of Oz shit, right? Yeah, and yes, you guys see, it's getting pretty long. But anyways, Gman's having a hangout today, and this is just an alternative hangout for anybody who doesn't give two shits about what he thinks about evolution, which is pretty much everybody. If you want to listen to Gman, by all means, go ahead. If you want to listen to us, by all means, go ahead. I think ours is going to be a little more interesting. We have a couple of people coming in that we had met from another channel, and they were having a pretty decent discussion with General Han Solo about Muslims and Islam, which we don't talk a lot about, and we probably do need more people in the community to talk about that particular subject. So that's going to be cool when they get here. But Negation of P is here, and he's always entertaining. So he's got an announcement for us, though, and I don't even know what the announcement is. I actually told him to wait. I like to be surprised, so I'm hoping it's not anything too detrimental. Like he's like, you don't have like anal syphilis or something, right?
No, nothing too. It's more of a kind of a fun deal. Well, you'll see. It should be somewhat entertaining. At least I hope so for most people.
Well, go ahead. Show is yours right now. What you got for us?
So you want me to go ahead and just kind of come out?
Yeah, go nuts.
Okay, so as most of you don't know, over the last year or two, I started working again, which basically really screwed up my ability to work out and keep my ass from getting as fat as it is. So I am now well over 30 pounds heavier than I was this time last year, and it sucks ass. So I keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping, and at best I'm treading water. So I found this website that is called stick.com, like carrot and stick.com. And if you're not familiar with it, what it does is it allows you to go on there, set a goal, and you can spread it out for as long as you want to. But the key is that you don't have to, but the way that I'm going to use it, and the website's set up for this, is you will donate however much money per week toward your goal. And if you're not making that goal per week, that money is donated from your credit card immediately to whoever you have designated as a recipient. Now, the key is when you set this up, you are setting it up for someone to receive that money that you absolutely despise, do not want that money to go to in any way.
Okay, come on. I can't stand the suspense. Who was the benefactor?
Matt Slick.
Oh! Oh no! Oh, I guess it's not as bad as Gman or Ronnie, but that's up there, dude.
Well, to be honest with you,
you better lose that motherfucking weight, dude.
Exactly. And here's the thing: I've put over $300 on the line now. So I would be, and I will be, donating over $300 to the betterment of carm.org and Matt Slick's message if I do not every week meet my goals.
Okay, negation. First of all, what the fuck are you doing here? You better start running, bitch. I'm telling you right now, get your happy ass off the chair, off your fucking couch, whatever the hell it is. Go run some laps, take about 3,000 calories off. I mean, if you run a mile, it burns like a couple hundred calories. It's like 180, I think I did this the other day because I want to lose 20 pounds too. So I was looking into that as well. I have realized that even though my intake for calories is pretty low for all practical purposes, because I do live a kind of little sedimentary lifestyle, I am gaining weight. And so my metabolic weight is about calorie per day is about 1,800, which I think is a little bit high. But that's what it came out to be. But you need to do like 500 less than that in order to lose weight into substantial things. So have you done a BMI and have you done all the caloric things just to say, okay, if I want to lose this amount of weight in this amount of time, this is what I need to do for my caloric intake? Have you done all that?
Yeah. What's funny is this time last year, I actually had a personal trainer and I had it to the letter exactly. And plus I was in a whole lot better shape. So I have a very good, outline of what I've got to do to meet my, my goals every week. But there's one more little caveat that I threw in there to sweeten the pot, so to speak. I was thinking about putting out a video so everybody can see this, and it'll make me more accountable. But what I thought might be interesting is my goal is to lose 33 pounds in 31 weeks, so about 6 months. So I've got to lose just over a pound a week is what I have to do, or I literally lose about $10 a week to Matt Slick. So what the caveat to me is if I don't get to 199 pounds, that's what I need to be or lower, by the time that this is over, regardless if I've met my goal every week except for the last week or whatever, I will donate the full $300 to Matt. So it's not only a weekly goal, but it's an all or nothing goal as well. And then the biggest thing that I'm going to challenge the Bible thumping wingnut crew and that posse over there, or any other Christian that wants to jump into this, is since prayer is so effective, I would like them, and I'm asking for this, I would like them to pray that I do not make my goal. And again, it doesn't have to be I don't lose any weight. If I miss it by 1 pound, I will publicly make a video stating that not only has this demonstrated that prayer is reasonable to believe in, but their God's existence also is reasonable to believe in. So that's everything on the line.
But you're actually saying that you want somebody to pray for something that's not beneficial for you. Exactly.
But it would be but here's the thing.
It's beneficial for them because it's for karm, right?
Well, it's actually beneficial for God because, and again, their goal is to spread the word of God and to have people come to believe. And I see no better way than to have somebody like myself put out a public video saying that, you know what, guys, I tried, I did everything I could, and apparently something stopped me from doing this. And again, this is not an unrealistic goal. I've been literally 10 pounds lighter than what my goal is. So I should be able to make this, especially in 6 months. And I'm not saying there would be no explanation, but if I can't make this, it would be something out of the ordinary, which...
Now you said 30 pounds in 6 months?
Yep.
That's not that bad. I mean, I wanted to do 20 pounds in 2 months.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, I'm doing it.
I got to start running in order to do that, but
exactly. No, it's just it's a little over a pound a week, so it's not anything unreasonable. So I'm making it reasonable on my end, but at the same time, all they have to do is pray for me to miss my goal by a pound. If I'm at 200 at the end of the 33 weeks, I will make the video, and I will also donate $300 to
well, there you go, Theus. There's a challenge out to you. There's an experiment that you could do. You can pray to God that Negation of P stays fat and get money for God. Sounds good to me.
So hopefully this will get me off my lazy ass and make me, like you said, start running, because I'm just looking at it now, the embarrassment that it's going to cause me to have to admit all that, not to mention the pain I would see by my bank account weekly losing.
Well, I can see why they call it the carrot and stick approach.
Yeah, and that's what the whole website is about. And I mean, it's a legit website. It's got, I think, last count somewhere in the neighborhood of $39 million that is on the line by however many people. And
wow.
Oh, I mean, it's a legitimate website, so it's pretty interesting. So,
and if you do make it, you'll become a Patreon, $1 a month for my channel in 6 months.
There you go. So,
you're a content provider, so it doesn't matter. Content providers, you know. I have two Patreons. I do what's his name? I do Drags and I do JD Canes because they've been around for a long time and they helped me out, so I felt kind of necessitated to give back, and I don't mind that at all.
No, I mean, I didn't think about that, Steve, but that's actually a really good deal. If I do make it, since you are letting me use your channel to basically put myself out there and force me to get off my ass and make this public, yeah. You know, regardless one way or another, I'll definitely get on and start doing Patreon to you because you're helping me. So cool.
No worries, man. You know, you're part of the Great Debate Network now. By the way, Red's Rhetoric, I figured I got your seal of approval when I made my video. I don't know if you watched it yet.
Oh, yeah, I did.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking to Red's real quick. I know you did. You liked it. That was good. Red's Rhetoric is in the live feed. I threw him into the Great Debate Network. I hope he doesn't mind too much. I don't think he does. But what you missed, Reds, was that basically Negation of P has a thing now that he has to lose 6 excuse me, 30 pounds in 6 months, or he has to give $300 to Karm. And what he wants people to do is the theist to pray that he doesn't lose weight, to show that the power of God was such that this money was being given to, Matt Slick, to God for betterment of theology, rather than him actually losing weight. So it's kind of a dual thing, kind of a dual purpose thing. I would assume that you're doing.
Yeah, that definitely works. I get a little. I can test prayer, and I can get my lazy ass off the couch and start doing something again. So,
I think it's kind of a cool idea. And by the way, I sent you a link, Reds. You have the link too. Again, I'm welcoming a lot of new people to the Great Debate community. I see some new faces in the live chat. Welcome. This is the kind of the open, off air, not on air, but open, off the show kind of stuff, because I do my thing in the mornings, and I already did mine this morning. But Ned was kind of bored, I guess, and he's just like, hey, let's go have a hangout. And I figured, Gman's having a hangout, and I don't think anybody really wants to watch him talk about evolution. I mean, how many fucking times can he say, we don't see dogs giving birth to cats? So we figured we'd have an alternate thing for you guys to watch while Gman's doing his shtick. And by the way, Negation of P, remember you made a little favor you asked me. Can I tell people about that, because in case it comes true?
Oh, dude, I'd love it. Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody out there that can kind of put some pressure from their end, I would definitely be appreciative.
So Negation of P wants to have a debate with Kent Hovind on morality. So I had emailed Kent about that. I haven't got a response back, but I think that'd be a very interesting debate. I'm not a big fan of the whole morality type thing, but I know Negation of P has some very good arguments, and I think he would shit all over Kent Hovind's parade. So if he gets back to me, if anybody has any back channels to Kent, I know Wayne had some. I know Wyatt Minkus had some. Let me know. Maybe we can kind of expedite this. And I know General Han Solo wants to debate him again, along with, I think, Max Hangs Out and Christian Anarchist. So anyways, while I got him in here real quick, Pew, I want to shout out to Pew Review.
Why?
He's in here now because he gave me the little I had lost it, and he found it for me, but he gave me one of the overlays that I used in the video. And I was really appreciative of that. I didn't give me credit on the video, and I probably should have. But I wanted to get the network stuff done first. But I wanted to thank Pew personally, because he has some pretty mad skills. Do you have your Dr. Ross thing? Can I show people that?
You can show it. Whoever finds it first can show it. Let's see. I'm probably not going to be able to find it first. Let me. But I will look for it here in the background.
Okay, while you're doing that.
God, I love that.
Yeah, I wanted to come up with a meme, and so I thought, what better meme than combining Doctor Who and Dr. Ross to form Doctor Who Ross, and she made a little.
The results were better than expected.
It was good. It was really fucking good. So we have a new character called Doctor Who Ross, and I'm going to send it to Dr. Ross and see if he likes it, because I think he'll get a kick out of it. But so, Reds, did you watch my video? Did you watch my Welcome to the Great Debate Community video? Because like I said, I added you and Hana to the Great Debate network of channels. So
yeah, I wasn't able to watch anything all day because I actually just got back from hanging out.
It's a minute and 9 seconds.
I know. I was hanging out with my father all day, so Father's Day shit.
Yes, I remember. Well, I can link it to you right now if you want to watch it.
Yeah, you actually said hi to him. Remember, he was the guy that said hi, faggot, and then you said, yeah, I'm the faggot.
No, he said hi, queer.
I
remember he said hi, queer. I'm like, hi, Red's father. So you're the bitch we have to blame for this.
Yes. You spoke to the sperm donor.
Congratulations. That's what I want. That's what I should have said. I mean, you couldn't. The one time you picked not to use a condom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I love this. Here we go. Here you go, guys. Yes. Our new meme that I'm sending to Dr. Ross. This is Doctor Who Ross. That fucking is brilliant. I love that.
That was a pretty good idea on your part.
So this is a combined effort that we have with me and Pew. I have the idea. He has the skills to do this shit. I think this came out exceptionally well, and I am definitely sending this to Hugh Ross. Yeah.
It took me almost half an hour just to with the skin tone to make the neck kind of match. But
can you link that in the group chat for people real quick?
I will post it on G Plus now. I hadn't actually posted it yet.
I'm sure at one of those times you were doing this, putting a lot of effort into this this picture, and you're like, "What the fuck am I doing with my life?"
That was yet another one of those times. You're correct.
Yes, got it right.
Yeah, kind of like the off air we had yesterday. I had very similar feelings, very similar thoughts.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta say, "What the fuck."
Yep. Sometimes.
You know what? I do have this. Now you haven't done anything to this image from the last one you sent me, right?
No, this is the same one.
The same one. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna send it to him right now, actually, as we speak.
Oh,
and I'll,
yes.
As you post it.
Yeah.
When'd you send it to me at?
I just
know
on,
you sent
on
to me.
Hangout, on Hangouts messages or whatever. Hangouts.
Oh, it's way back here. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to scroll up surprisingly far when I was re-downloading it.
You guys gotta admit that is pretty funny, isn't it? I mean, you guys like that?
I can't see the live chat. Let me fix that.
There.
Where's the live
Yeah,
chat?
I'm tabbed in the live chat.
Shallow Shy appears to like this. There it is. Pew is doing God's work. Yep.
Heavy Hollow says Dr. Ross who? I know, because it's Dr. Hugh Ross, right? So just saying Hugh, you say who? So Dr. Who Ross.
Yep. You got to do it for the pun, Heavy.
Yeah, you got to do it for the pun, Heavy, or else you lose the whole point of the meme.
All right, I just
okay. I cannot find the goddamn picture.
I muted this Hangout and watched your little "Welcome to the Great Debate Community" video. Yep, I approve.
Yay! Well, there we go. I found it. Yeah, I figured you would. So
definitely works for me. So
oh my god, this is a long goddamn URL for this thing, dude.
For this Hangout or for the video?
No, for that picture.
Oh,
but it's okay. It'll fit on a Twitter thing. I'll also send it on
actually,
Facebook,
if you can wait like 2 seconds, I can put it on Imgur. That'll be a really short link.
It won't matter. Twitter doesn't factor in
right
for the URL.
Gotcha.
By the way, I hate the new buttons though. What the fuck were they thinking?
On Twitter, I hadn't been
Everything's
using
rounded.
the desktop version for ages.
Yeah, they rounded everything. It's like strange.
All right, where do you want this? Science, philosophy, theology, discussion?
I guess discussion. I guess
probably. This will promote some really intellectual dialogue. I feel.
Yeah, right. I call bullshit.
As you should.
What gave it away?
The fact that it was you speaking words.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. I always. There we go. It's on the Great Debate Community now. I don't know why, but there.
It's all part.
Do you have a Twitter thing?
I do.
I
never use this Twitter, but I should.
I just use your own. I just put peer review.
Oh, okay.
When I
just want me to put your Twitter on there.
The only time I use Twitter is for like rocket launches or debates.
Damn. By the way, Steve, did you just say, "Oh, I'll use your real name"? I just put Pew Review.
Well, okay, you know what I mean.
Well, I just finished talking to that Muslim guy. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, how'd that go?
He believes that Muhammad split the moon for real, and apparently NASA has evidence that the moon split.
I wanted to ask him about something like that, about going up to the moon on the white horse and that part, because he was saying that the Quran is perfect in every way and looking for errors, and I was going to ask him about the whole moon thing.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to, but you're saying he thinks that's legit?
Yeah, and so I asked him for evidence from NASA because he himself said NASA said so. So then he gives me, and I kid you not, he gives me aboutislam.net.
Yeah.
And so when you click on that link, there is no mention of NASA. 90% of the paper is about the hadiths and the Quran, argument that the moon was split. And then near the end, certain fault lines that are only 300 kilometers in distance, like straight lines that happen to be basically fold. They're folds. It's not like the ground split. It's folding on top of each other. And so I'm asking him, okay, the moon being roughly 300,000 kilometers away, you're talking about a certain, for you to have a noticeable, like for the human observer to noticeably see that, yes, the moon is indeed splitting, you're talking many hundreds of kilometers that you need for the moon to, to split. Evidence for that. So then he turns around and says, and I kid you not, this is what he just said before I left. That means then the word split doesn't mean split.
Okay. Then what the fuck does it mean?
The moon did not split into two parts. And I kid you not, he said this. He said this. He said the hadith is wrong on this point then. And the word split doesn't mean split. It just means that a marking takes place, like a tiny little marking. And I'm just hearing this and going, face palming myself and so. So yeah, I just love.
Is he going to come in? Because he said he was going to.
Apparently he's breaking fast.
Oh my god,
because
dude!
It's Ramadan right now.
Oh, dude, fuck my life! I just literally for half a second went over to see what Gman was talking about. I shit you not. Dogs, and they come out and they have dogs. I fucking not kidding you. He's fucking talking about dogs. Jesus Christ, people! What the hell are you even listening to Gman? Gman, he's hanging on evolution and creationism, and he's still fucking talking about dogs.
Well, just remember, this is his go-to strategy.
Fuck, he's an idiot.
You mean, is he?
And no Christian anarchist. I'm not talking about you.
Is he talking about like dogs and dog kinds or shit like that?
I guess so. I only could take about 5 seconds of the stupid. I just heard dogs from dogs, and I was like, "Fuck this."
Christian anarchist was witness. Can you like in a nice summary just regurgitate what just happened?
What, in the hangout we were in earlier?
Yeah. It's Steve's like wanting more on that.
Okay.
I love this. He's like, oh, okay. Let me take a deep breath.
So what happened was that, because I don't know much about I was in and out on the whole thing they mentioned about Surah 55, but when it gets to Surah 54, which the first verse is the controversial one, which talks about the splitting of the moon, which his first response was, oh, that's talking about end times. Then we're like, okay, what about the hadith, which says that Muhammad looked and to bestow a miracle, he split the moon in two parts. Then there was all kinds of mumbo jumbo about that, but he was like saying, we have science that proves that the moon was split.
Oh my god, that's as bad as a creationist.
And so, but here's what was worse was he gave us some article which actually showed, because he kept saying it does not say that it was split into two parts. It said it was split, but then it's the source he gave us had a quote from Bukhari which tells us that it was split into two parts.
Well, split into two halves, but not parts.
It gave us the fuel. So he said, well, and here's the funnier part. I said, it says that? Like, yes, but it's wrong. So Sahih Bukhari, from the saying of Muhammad and his deeds, is wrong. It's like, well, maybe not.
Yeah, he said the word split is not split.
He said, read the Arabic. Read the
Hey,
Arabic.
General, check your outside chat real quick, General.
He kept saying, read the Arabic.
Read the Arabic.
Yeah. As David Wood said, the trump card at the bottom of the desperate deck.
Isn't that awesome?
Doctor Who, Ross.
Pew did that. I had the idea and I used Pew's skills because I don't do Photoshop very well. I use GIMP, but not anywhere near the quality he has. But is that funny, Doctor Who, Ross? I sent it to him. I think Dr. Ross will get a kick out of that.
I'll show you a legit photo where Hugh actually dressed up as Einstein, and he actually does look like Einstein.
Now you got to do one with Peter Capaldi and Hugh Ross.
So yeah, it went to a very strange.
Okay, go ahead.
It went to a very strange turn of events from the go to the Arabic, then it goes, if you're just go to the scientists and the scholars that agree with us about the moon splitting. And then he sent us a video. General took the time to watch it. And what did you say?
Yeah, it was a 2-minute video anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what did you say?
So the video was a Smithsonian cosmology video of a guy, I think it's dated 2014, and basically saying, "Oh, look, we're finding these folds on the surface of the moon, and it gives us these ridges and so on." And the guy who uploaded the video is a Muslim saying, "Allahu Akbar, we found evidence that the moon was split." When on the video itself, it gives you the scale of how long those lines are, and they're a mere 615 meters long. And so, if you're going to speak about splitting the moon, it's a lot bigger than 650 meters of length, if you're talking about the circumference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how does he think that actually? How does he? I mean, what was this mechanism by which the moon was split to begin with?
Magic.
A miracle from Allah. Allah knows best.
He claims that it wasn't split into two. He claims that, and I think this was at the end of that article. He said that they found like this sort of crack or something in the moon. They're like, there, it's split right there.
But there's many cracks around the moon, and they're tiny little, like, not even a kilometer in length.
Yeah, and then we kept again pointing. Of course, it says split here, but then Bukhari says split into two, so we should take it into that consideration since it says split into two, which is about as big of a split you're gonna get involving an object getting split.
So split doesn't mean split.
Pretty much, he thinks split as in split his head open, where it's just like a little crack or something. When split into two being identified there is very much similar to what the Arabic is saying in the
yeah, context says split into two. A crack is not split into two. It's still very much one piece, and so you're wrong. I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and that's literally scratching the surface. I could have gone through the entire Quran literally with the scientific miracle claims.
And he kept like talking down to general too, like basically saying that just trust me. I'm a native Arabic speaker, so I can read the Quran in its Arabic. So he tried to put himself on a pedestal with this. I know Arabic stuff that he kept repeating.
I mean, I'll give the guy credit that he speaks Arabic and also speaks English. I mean, I'm on my third attempt to resist on Spanish, so good for him. But at the same time, if you read like translations of it, it says split into two, correct?
Right, but he says don't just rely on the translations. You have to rely on the Arabic and the scholars.
Does it say split into two? Yes or no? Context wise, I mean,
he was being a little evasive and vague when we were in that hangout. We kind of corrected him on a few things, even though I don't know shit about the Quran.
Yeah, I came in late.
Arguments were completely flawed, and everybody pointed out to him, "Is like you're not even making any cogent points here."
I mean, there may not be a word for whatever word is being used in the original Arabic when translating it into English, and that's fine. However, the context of said word could easily be said in English, easily. So if the context of a word is split into two, not just split as in crack, then we need to look for evidence of the moon splitting in two. And since he said that he had evidence from NASA of all people, I would very much like to read this paper.
Yeah. And then that's what he first said. And then all of a sudden he changed it. He's like, oh, I never said anything about NASA because he said, here's the article. I don't see NASA anywhere. When I'm pressing the find search engine on this thing, I don't see the word NASA there. Then again, NASA has also been used as the Hebrew word for deceit. So I don't know. The work of the flat earthers at hand, people. Anyways.
They work overtime to make shit up.
Exactly. So then it's not just NASA. It's not NASA. It's just these scientists that decided to go up there and see it, and like it went as desperate as they could on this whole thing.
Yeah, he seemed a little bit off center. I invited him to the GDC. He is Muslim, so at least it's somebody with a different perspective that we don't get too often. So,
Steve, I just sent you the image. Share it, like screen share it galore. You laugh.
What are you sending me? Oh, Albert.
Oh no!
And apparently, Gman is talking about us right now.
Does he like this video? Does he like this image?
Yeah, no, he uploaded himself, and so have a look.
Oh, he uploaded. Oh, wow! He went all out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, we'll see what he thinks of Doctor Who Ross, because like I said, I sent it to Dr. Rana too and said, hey, look, this is going to be the next Doctor, you know, because Peter Capaldi's leaving. So I'm like, hey, Doctor Who Ross, this will be the next Doctor. Yeah, that is pretty. He does look like Einstein. That's pretty good.
I'll send it in the inside chat. Yeah. So I've called it
Inside
Albert.
or external?
Inside, because this is
Great.
link, and there's your
I can't
stuff.
click on nothing. I'm on my phone.
I'll send it to you personally.
Let me guess. Over in Gman's channel, nobody wants to go in there because nobody's going to bother with him. He just has people trolling in the live chat. Looks like. And then
only one credible person is actually in this feed, and it looks like it's Brenda. Other than that, we have Gcon, Gman, that Ken Jones guy, Tommy, and Veckel.
Yeah, Brenda will go into any hangout. She doesn't really care. She's kind of
she's been in Discord all day. She was in Discord all day today.
Well, that's the best he can get is Brenda.
And Gcon is not going to do him any favors. Neither is Tommy, who's currently babbling, and Veckel is being quiet.
Oh, he's trying to get Nephilim free.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Wait, he's in there.
I'm not watching this garbage. I'm going to have.
I'm just watching the live chat. That's all I'm watching. His live. I mean, I'm watching both live chats, but I'm watching his, and he says I'm going to get Nephilim free. I'm like, wow, that's your heavy hitter. Fuck.
It's funny is that when I started entering into this whole community, like he started losing popularity even amongst some of the Christians on here as soon as I came on the scene, because a lot of the stuff got open about King James onlyism, the whole what was the other thing, his whole modalism thing. Like as soon as that got out, well, not many people that used to go there even bothered anymore. I mean, even like One Way Apologetics, a friend of mine who used to actually be.
I know One Way.
Yeah, he used to co-author.
He's a decent guy.
He on his website, Nephilim was actually not just a friend, but a co-author of his blog, One Way Apologetics blog, and this is actually on my channel too, of an old video of them two getting into an argument over the issue on Calvinism, to the point where he's kind of like he booted him out the room, and that's when he also started going on the anti-Calvin rant. So a lot of things ever since I ended up showing up kind of broke things down at that point for him. So
well, I think there's been a whole bunch of different things. I mean, G-Man's just lost a lot of people because he's not entertaining anymore. He used to be entertaining, but now he says the same stupid shit. And going into this whole evolution versus creation, nobody cares what he has to say. Nobody's ever going to go into his rooms with a dialogue anymore because he went the route of Darwin's deity and just like, I'm going to ban everybody from live feed, and it's not worth it.
Exactly.
That's why I keep telling him, stick to the Hebrew Israelite thing, because that's certainly
he does a good job on that.
That's certainly something new. Not a lot of people know about that, especially Christians. They just recently did a conference on this whole thing that lasted for 3 days. Pastors and teachers getting together to help tell people about who they are, how they operate, and all that stuff. I mean, and he's done this when the movement started out in its early roots. So he should stick to that. And he said he's been trying to get more into that, but of course, there's times the atheism thing gets him a tempting call.
You mean like trying to redefine it in real time and failing miserably? It's like, hey, I'm going to use like 16 different definitions of the word atheist, therefore I win. No, it just means you're not consistent, worth a damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and not only that, but nobody prescribes to his definition of atheism either.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you ask him to define his terms before the conversation starts, good luck with that.
I've already got myself into a different kind of controversy at the moment, so I'm glad I got out of this whole thing.
Well, they also got Slick streaming too right now.
Huh?
Really?
So we got mine, we got Slicks, we got G-Man. So wow.
Wow,
it is Sunday.
Jeez.
Well, I'm surprised Brenda's over here. She should be over fucking with Matt Slick because they love her over there.
God, that'd be funny to watch though. Again,
the only thing I remember of her is the conversation she had from General a while back. That's about the only thing I know of.
What?
Yeah. I only had one conversation
you had with Brenda. Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. I only had one conversation with Slick, and
you
I'm
mean
never gonna have another conversation after that.
What do you mean? I only spoke to Brenda the one time.
Yeah, the one
Oh
time.
yeah, on Islam. Yeah.
Yes, I can't hear. I'm not listening to his discussion. I'm just, like I said, I'm following both channels live feed, but it looks like he's just babbling about fruit flies, and of course he's not going to understand a damn thing about that. I mean, he's just fuck. He's a stupid. I mean, there's no other way to say it, Reds. I'm telling you, if you did not have that rule that you could win Dumb Fuck of the Year only once, I don't know how Gman would not win it every year. I just don't.
Exactly, and that was the problem. That was the fucking problem right there.
Is that why you had to add that? Because it would have been like, it would have been not Dumb Fuck of the Year. It would have been Gman's Dumb Fuck of the Year again.
Yeah, again. It's like, you know what? Let's have some variety in there. There was before that rule actually became a thing. Only one person actually beat Gman, and that was Jism. Jism was the only person dumb enough to beat Gman, but ever since then, people are like, oh, Gman's got to win. Gman's got to win. I'm like, I'm sorry, new rule. You can only win once, and but we will have a dumb fuck of the decade, and hopefully he may show his colors again because he'll be able to go to that podium. But yeah, that's the reason why that rule had to be made.
Did you
I thought
watch
Jism
his
had a
latest
different
video?
name change?
No, it was Jeranism, but I pronounce it Jeranism to piss him off, and then Kohar Logic came up with the name Jism, which was infinitely funnier, and so we went with that.
Okay, yeah, I watched Jism's video on him admitting that Wolf's experiment was better. I mean, he's still a duplicitous piece of shit, and he's still ungodly wrong. But I will admit that I was actually surprised that he actually acknowledged that his experiment was an abysmal failure, and we were mocking it excessively on Sidestrike's channel on Friday. Watching his experiment, it was just like, what the fuck is he thinking here? Yeah, and he wasn't at least completely brain dead, or I think the fact was, I think Wolf had him dead to rights. And he probably would have looked even dumber had he not acknowledged it, because I saw the experiment that Wolfie did, and I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense how he's doing this.
However, I do want to point to I want to point something out though. In the comments on his original video, if you go through the comments there, you'll see a shit ton of flat earthers saying this proves no stars on the globe. I wonder how many people are going to change their minds in that comments. I wonder how many people are actually going to turn toe on this one. I guarantee you that even though they said, congratulations, Jism, you were totally right, and all this, are saying, yeah, you totally fucked up, and this is why you should do better next time. No, everyone always gives the guy credit. They give him credit when he's wrong, and they give him credit when he's wrong again, and then they give him credit for admitting that he's wrong. He always gets credit with these flat earthers, like, oh, this guy can do no wrong. He's a fucking patron saint to these fucking people.
Well, make sure you look at the comments and see all the people that said, oh, okay, look at Jism proved that this doesn't happen on a spherical Earth. Let's go back and check those comments and mark, ask them, clearly you were wrong. And of course they're just parroting, right? It's tribalism. Yes. They don't fucking know. I mean, when we looked at the experiment with experts, we had, some pretty smart people in Sidestrike's channel. Everybody in there was just like, holy shit. Jism,
well, he didn't. No. I mean, keep in mind, this guy didn't even know the difference between an equatorial and an alt-az mount. And
I don't know how he could not know the difference.
How could you fuck that up? First of all,
I mean, I've had a telescope all my life, so to me, it's just like, okay, but I think for him, how would he not know the difference?
The thing that I want to point out here is that all this shit is just a Google search away. The time it takes for you to do a simple Google search on telescope mounts would have saved him, I don't know how many hours he tried to edit that video, because he's a fucking idiot, so I'm sure editing is a challenge for him. So, I mean, for fuck's sake, all this stuff is easy. All this stuff is easy. How can you fuck this up? I think, he's either doing it on purpose or he's severely brain dead.
Or both.
Yeah, I have my doubts about Jism on occasion, like whether he's fully serious, but...
So I guess they're quote unquote destroying Brenda, ergo because they destroyed quote unquote Brenda. I guess evolution has been falsified, people. So hey, we were wrong. It happens. Evolution's
Tommy's
pretty
been
wrong.
big,
G-Man showed it. What's that?
Huh?
Oh, do you want to drop a soundbite, Pew?
I kind of did. Yeah, that was
Go ahead.
that was
Drop it.
MP saying Tommy's pretty big, but
Say it again.
here.
I thought I heard MP's voice. What was it?
Yeah.
Tommy's pretty big too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's probably got to
get
go
all
like
the
the
way
inner colon, right?
Yep.
Oh God.
All right. With that, I got to take off. Peace.
Get out of here.
See is.
Ah.
So this is what we have in the description. This video is the response to Wolfie6020, who correctly modeled star trails on the globe Earth in this video here. He links it. So thank you, Wolfie6020, for correcting my misunderstanding. Sure, that's what it was. I have deleted the challenge videos and will admit that there are star trails on the globe Earth. I still don't think I live there, but check out Wolfie's channel for his other experiments and attempts at proving that we live on a spinning sphere in space.
Well, I mean, but wait, okay. Here's what I don't understand. Look at if you show star trails, and you could show that the model for round Earth will do this, and it won't on a flat Earth. What's more likely the case?
A process of elimination is not what he's good at. Let's put it that way.
I don't think he's good at anything besides bullshit.
Well, that too. Exactly. Again, this is the guy who won Dumb Fuck of the Year because he said he made his challenge about the Northern Hemisphere. But I'm like, oh, I can see why you didn't want to touch the South because it royally shits on your flat Earth parade, doesn't it? Because when you look at the South Celestial Point, that cannot work on a flat Earth at all, period, unless you want to involve magic. That's what he would have to do to make that shit work. He would have to invoke magic. Which is why I made the challenge to him, which, by the way, he still hasn't gotten back to me on. Go figure, right?
The issue is, though, isn't magic kind of inevitable with these kind of conversations when you have it with these kind of people?
Well, they don't want to say it's magic, but that's what it is. It's magic. It's fucking magic because that's the only way the flat Earth is going to exist is when you say, okay, it's fucking magic. Therefore, fuck all logic, fuck all math because magic.
Oh my God! Now the New Covenant group started a feed too. Well, it must be Sunday. Somebody said Tom I think said, oh well, G-Man has a couple more live people watching than you do, Steve. I'm like, well, actually, everybody who's watching his actually is watching mine and vice versa, but they're actually paying attention to us and they're just watching his live feed, I think, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I don't really care about the view dick measuring contest that people want to have. Listen, if people want to
watch whatever the hell you want.
Honestly, listen, I will admit I am watching G-Man's feed, but I'm not. I'm paying attention to the comments, the live chat.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I mean, he's got 19 dislikes already. Oh God.
So even though it may count me as a viewer, his audio is muted, and I'm listening to this hangout right now because this hangout is infinitely better than that clusterfuck.
Well, we got Negation of P. Of course, is better. Who's just been quiet, on the side there.
Yeah, that's very rare. So I've been trying to. Actually, to be honest, I'm listening and playing with my little project at the same time and trying to figure out how to get this money directed to Matt Slick because his email accounts seem to be, at least the ones I have used to have access to, don't seem to be.
Well, you already sound like you're ready to prepare to have a loss.
Well, no, the thing is I've got to supply that email address because again, it defaults. If I don't make my goal every week, he gets that $9 and whatever cents. It goes directly
how does it know if you make your goal? You have to actually put in the numbers?
No, you can either, there's three ways to do it. You can either do your own, just say on my honor, which of course I'm not going to do. Then you can get them to assign you a referee that they'll contact you and you'll set up some type of, methodology to determine if you're making it or not, or you can pick a referee. So, I'm trying to make it as fair as possible and just have them, do a referee.
I'm actually ignorant on this. So, Negation of P, please explain to me what's actually going on here.
Okay. Over the last year, I've been working quite a bit, and sitting in a cockpit eating shit all day makes you kind of fat. Okay. So, I'm probably 30-something pounds heavier than I was a little over a year ago, and I am absolutely sick of it. So I've been, for about the last 3 or 4 months, I've been trying to lose weight, and of course I'll go a week or two, and then I'll blow it, and then I'll go a couple more weeks, and I'll blow it again. So at best, I'm just maintaining. I'm not doing shit in reality. So I've been trying to figure out a way to force myself to get off my ass and commit to this stuff. Well, I found this website called stick.com or stick.org. And what it is you go in there and you make your commitment to whatever your goal is. It doesn't have to be weight loss. It can be anything. There's a ton of different things. In fact, you can even create your own goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide how much money you want to donate if you don't make those goals. And the key is you can, I mean, they've got, reputable places where you can donate money, but the key is to pick an organization that you absolutely despise. So if you don't make that goal, that money is going to piss you off because it's going to that person. So the person that I chose that will get about $300 of my dollars if I don't make this goal is Matt Slick. And carm.org.
Shit.
If I ever called you stupid in the past, I apologize.
I am also going to post a video sometimes next week, hopefully, that'll outline this in detail. And I am going to challenge basically anyone that wants to participate to pray that I don't make my goal. And the way that I'm going to do it is it's not that I don't lose any weight. If I don't make, I've picked 33 pounds. That's exactly how much I need to lose in the next 6 months. If I lose 32 pounds, even if I make my goal every week except the last one, so Matt will only get like $9 and whatever it is, I will revert and pay him the full $300, even if I miss it by 1 pound.
Damn.
And the way that I'm and what I'm going to challenge the Christian community to do is pray that I miss it by however amount. I don't care, a pound, 10 pounds, whatever. But pray that I fall short. If they do that, I will post a video. If I fall short, I will also post a video at the end of this saying that their prayers have worked and that it is now reasonable based on that, because 6 months is more than enough time to lose 33 pounds. The only reasonable conclusion is that God is there and prayers work. So I'm hoping, no, I'm not hoping. I know that with all this pressure of I got to pay Matt $300 and something, I've got to make a video stating that now I support prayer and I believe in God. That ought to get me off my ass and lose this weight. And if it doesn't, nothing will. So,
but has Matt actually replied to this?
He doesn't have to, because the money remember, he's got that carm.org website.
We should let him know, though. I mean, he's live right now.
If he wants to chime in, more than willing. I'm more than willing to let him know that,
I'll let him know. I mean, I'm not going to.
I'll take one for a team. I will actually hop into that hangout if there's any way to get into that fucking hangout and tell them, hey, guess what? Have I got some news for you?
And let him know.
Around, children.
Do they know who you are? I mean,
he invited me on and then completely avoided, and that's one of the reasons I can't stand it. Is Bible Thumping Wingnut had invited me on to come on and debate Matt on one of my previous arguments, the one about knowledge, and Matt basically filibustered for about 30 minutes, equivocating over the meaning of the word if, literally if. And trying to just, he didn't have an answer for the question, so he wanted to avoid it.
Yeah.
And then they effectively kicked me off, of course, when I started to get somewhere. So then I have been, ever since then, at least off and on, saying, look, Matt, maybe knowledge is not your strong point, but I know that you have a huge stance on morality. Why don't we debate that one? And he won't even contact me back. So the cowardice and the, absolute lack of ethical, I'm trying to be as nice as possible here, but just his attitude in general has probably turned him into absolutely, he's the worst apologist that I think I've ever run into, including William Lane Craig. And William Lane Craig used to be the guy that held that position in my mind. So that's why I picked him, because the pain that's going to be involved with knowing that even if I miss it 1 week, the pain that's involved with me knowing that my money is automatically being defaulted into his account is just going to, shit. I may lose 50 pounds before this is all over with, just because I'll be scared.
That's what I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Start jogging, man. You better get a motherfucking fucking treadmills, I'm telling you.
Hey, if you give me your address, I'll make sure that everybody's prayers get answered.
All right, sounds good. I'll do that, man. In
I'll
fact,
mail you a lifetime supply of Cheetos.
Why can't I get this?
Hey, Therese, how are you? Welcome to the Great Debate Community. You're one of the new ones that popped over, haven't you?
Yeah, I am. Thanks.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate getting to see Steve on the Geek Room the other day.
Ah, did you like that episode?
Oh yeah,
that was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Those guys were. That was fun.
Hey, you know, it was great, and I try to. My channel's still kind of fairly new, and you know, I've been trying to work on it, but you know,
it's a painstaking process. I mean, I am just in the initial phases of my channel. I mean, I've had it for 3 years, and I'm just now starting to get up the ladder. Nowhere near where I would like to be, but it's just, it is what it is. I mean, I think I plateaued out. Oh, I will have plateaued out pretty shortly here, but we'll see. You know,
nah, hopefully not. I just get excited when I get like 500 views right now.
At watching it one time, or for a video?
No. I wish.
Well, you know, if you you know, went over to Gman's Hangout and you know, got some views that way. No, don't go to Gman's Hangout. No, I've actually watched the live chat, and it's just like, fuck's sake.
It's like the end credits for Logic.
Well, you know, it's and it's just like all the just like going after Brenda. It's like, really, this is like the entertainment is just. I don't like listening to Brenda that often, anyways. But to have her kind of, you know, talk about biology with a bunch of idiots, just no interest.
Which is why I mean, we've had people with PhDs, people who are going in for their PhDs, people who are actively studying this shit with Tommy and all the other fuckheads that have been in this hangout, and nothing has worked. You can only shove so many facts down their throat before you yourself have to come to the conclusion that no amount is going to be good enough. Does it agree with my Bible? No, you're wrong by default.
Unfortunately, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, it doesn't have to agree with the Bible. Well, the Bible doesn't agree with creationism, so there.
Well, all I was going to say is, I mean, I'm not exactly a Christian. I'm not anything. I'm just me. I'm going to say one thing or another, one way or the other. If it's what I believe in, I'm going to tell you. And honestly, half the shit that most Christians now, I've met so many Christians that are so cracked out of their mind, they think the earth is actually flat. So come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to our world.
You just made Red's nipples kind of hard.
At least one of them.
No. You made both nipples hard, and my dick is so hard right now I could cut diamonds.
Hey, Reg, do you remember the first time you actually like decided you're going to debunk flat Earth? The first time it even, you know, came to be a forefront to your brain where you said,
yes,
how the fuck is somebody this stupid?
Yes, I know the exact time, and it was in 13 Heathens Hangout, and that was the first time I ever spoke to Duranism. That was the very first time, because he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make videos about flat Earth. And I said, okay, then I'll make videos debunking you. And that's how it started.
Really? Is that true?
Yes. Yes,
I did not
this was before he made that channel. He had another channel called JC Canby, which is a play on his real name. And so he said, okay, well, Red, I'm going to start making videos about flat Earth. What do you say about that? Well, I'm going to start making videos to debunk you. So you make your video first, and I'll shove that shit right back up your ass. And he took up the gauntlet.
I mean, was he bullshitting back then? I mean, was he not a flat earther back then, or was he?
No, he was very timid about admitting whatever, but that was the only time I actually heard him say, I think the earth is flat. That was the only time he actually said it. Until then, he's always played this, oh, I don't know, or I'm just asking questions. And he's trying to play around the fact that his position is earth flat. And he said that in 13 Heathens Hangout. You can ask 13 yourself. He will back me up on this because he was there. And when he said, oh, I'm going to start making videos about this stuff, I'm like, okay, then I'll start debunking you. And then everyone else started coming in, and then the GDC started coming into this shit. And I was like, holy fuck, what just happened? Now we have a fucking B.O.B. rapper saying this shit, and Neil deGrasse Tyson doing a mic drop on TV. And I was like, I started this shit.
So what you're saying,
pioneer.
flat Earth, not even once.
Flat Earth, not even once. Exactly.
Once
And
you
now
go
I have-
flat, you don't go back.
Now I have multiple dents in my desk due to my forehead. Yeah.
I think I have brain damage from the concussions I got while banging my head against the desk listening to some of that stuff.
Facepalm protection oven mitts.
Oh,
Their
that
sales
that
went
debate
up.
with Betty was harsh. Even for a flat earther, that was bad.
Okay, look. The whole idea of flat Earth has been disproven since Renaissance time to begin with. I mean, come on. How, in the history of man, can we go back to flat Earth? That's like going back and saying, oh, I believe in magic again. I mean, yes, there are people who believe in magic.
The time that we live in is kind of like the collapse of Rome, but with Wi-Fi.
But how is it any different? We got Gman over there right now debating evolution versus creationism. How is that even a debate? How is that even a debate? There is no discussion on it. Evolution is a reality. Common ancestors is a reality. The Earth is billions of years old. Get the fuck over it. There is nothing to discuss. If you don't like it, tough shit. It's not like it's up for arbitrary discussion saying, oh, well, I don't like it, therefore it doesn't happen. Bullshit. Go out, get an education, and study what it is. If you want to refute it via scientific processes, be my guest. You'd be an instant famous person. You'd win the Nobel Prize. Is it going to happen? No, probably not.
Nope. It's not going to happen.
Where's Ken Honig's Nobel?
Yeah, seriously. Well, people probably think that he should win the Nobel, but so in the live chat over in Gman, Lottie's like, this is fucking retarded. He's got 53 people watching, so people like a lulz cow. I mean, I kind of expected him to have a pretty decent showing because people want to see a train wreck.
Minus me off of that because I am watching the live feed. I'm not watching the hangout. His hangout.
Well, I think most people are. I think most people are just watching the live chat. They're not listening. We can go back and listen later, but I mean, seriously, who the hell wants to listen to Brenda explain evolution?
I would rather listen to these birds in the background than listen to this G-Man shit.
You like my birds?
No, they're annoying as fuck. Mute yourself.
Yeah, that's as bad as Orange Raw Cat, who sounds like a bird.
My birds are too good for you, then.
Yes, I am not worthy of the chirping.
Go play in traffic.
Well, honestly, my position is on all of it is whatever you want to believe, that's fine. Don't try to sit there and prove it when everything else that disproves it is like 100 times what you can ever say to prove it.
See, I want to actually, Steve, if you can actually make this post on the Great Debate site, but I'm finally at that point where I'm ready to debate that new flat earther that made it onto our little community page. I'm trying to find his name, but he's like the new guy that made the quarter on a CD holder and was like, this proves flat earth or some shit like that. I want to debate that guy or at least speak to him.
Is it start with an A?
Alkaline something. I'm scrolling through right now as quickly as I can.
I know you're referring. It's like AA or something, right?
Yeah, AA Alkaline Artist or something like
that.
Yeah.
I know who. I mean, I know of him.
Now, has he actually been active recently? Because if so, what I was going to do is make a post to him and be like, "Hey, I said that I would get back to you. Here I am, bitch. Let's go ahead and do this."
No, he hasn't been active, and I've never spoken to him besides a couple comments on the GDC, but I've never engaged with him in a hangout, so I really know nothing about his positions.
Except that the Earth is flat, and if so, I'll be like, "Oh, good. Come here, Tinkerbell. Let's chit chat. I got some questions to ask you. Let's start with the sun."
Okay, I did a show about a week or so ago, and I had Wolf from the Geek Room in. He was in my chat, and I got another person come in. His name was Flat Earth Revolutions, and not only is he following Von Helton's footsteps on Flat Earth, but he's also Pastor Locke about it as well.
I wouldn't say anybody follows Von Helton's footsteps. I mean, Von Helton is a fucking idiot that just regurgitates shit. The guy has never had an original thought in his entire life.
No, he's had some original thought, but they're all been dumb fuck thoughts. I mean, I think he's the freaking what is it? The
Punisher. No. He's never had an original thought at all. Like he reads something that's pure fiction and says, this is probably true. This is why he's trying to become the Sorcerer Supreme or whatever.
He's the Punisher.
No. Now he's Doctor Strange. Okay.
Oh, now he's Doctor Strange. I didn't know that.
Well, that's what he's trying to do now. Like, he's no longer the Punisher. Now he's going around. He's going to try to find the Aya Agamotto and become the Sorcerer Supreme, which is the fucking plot from fucking Doctor Strange. Like,
maybe he should just settle for Vermin Supreme.
Maybe. Before I jumped in here, I was kind of bouncing back and forth between listening to this and Matt Slick and Gman and all different hangouts, just for trying to find if there's anything worthwhile listening to. And fuck, like the Gman hangout, it's fucking hilarious. It's pathetic that how can people sit around and try to debunk evolution when they don't even know what the fuck evolution is? I don't get it.
That's the funniest fucking thing, right? Seriously, if you wanted to like disprove something, like if I wanted to disprove relativity, like Hovind tried to do the other day and failed miserably because he doesn't even know what general relativity is. But if I wanted to do that, I would have to learn some pretty advanced mathematics. And G-Man thinks, being an absolute moron when it comes to basic biology, he's going to debunk evolution because he has such a weird, misconstrued straw man version of it that a second grader probably wouldn't even think, because he literally thinks some kind of weird linear change of morphology kind of thing. And people have explained it to him, as you said, or somebody else has said, look, every other brother that has advanced degrees has explained this to G-Man. He doesn't get it. He's incapable of understanding it. He's an idiot. And so you're not going to have somebody with an IQ somewhere around room temperature debunking one of the most greatest scientific theories of all time, especially evolution, because there's more evidence for evolution than anything. There's more evidence for evolution than there is relativity, by far. And so, I mean, don't you think he would have to go take some biology courses to even begin to try to debunk something to be somewhat knowledgeable of it, at least rudimentary speaking?
No, because ICR
for fuck's sake,
for us.
What?
ICR already did that for us. It's all in the Bible, and ICR figured out the science. So
they don't even know how to parrot that shit right, you know. But we do have one of G-Man's what do we call them? I don't know, lackeys over here, and he's more than welcome to, by the way, you know. So, but real quick, Xbox, I asked you 3 times if you liked the video I made because I threw your name on it. I need some feedback for you. If you watched the video, the welcome video. But Wandering Hermit, I haven't been watching the live feed over here, so let me change it over here. Wandering Hermit appears to be somebody who thinks evolution is wrong. Talking about nucleotide sequences and functionality of cells. So what is actually Wandering Hermit? What is actually your primary thing against evolutionary theory? I mean, what's your reasoning for thinking that it's wrong when you can go to Google Scholar, type in evolutionary biology, and get 1.3 million hits of evidence? So what? No, Hermit's not a troll. Hermit actually is a person that goes to G-Man's hangouts, and he does believe this, I believe. So he says, in order to be evolution to be true, the ratio to function and non-functional arrangements have to be relatively high. I'm not sure what he means by that. What does that have to do with evolution?
Is he talking about functional mutations?
I mean, most things we have are functional. We've got functional organs. We have functional cells. We have functional. I mean, almost everything we have is functional. We have some vestigial stuff that's not the same function it used to have, but that's not really what evolution really. I don't know how's that's an argument against evolution.
Well, it's a common misconception that you get with a lot of these young Earth anti-evolutionists, is that, you know, all these changes in biological adaptations and mutations will produce something that's not like an intermediate state, which isn't immediately functional, and then it would just go, no, it would peter out and die because there's no use for it.
So they're thinking you're going to have half a wing or some shit like that.
Yeah,
right.
And I think I think it even goes the other way, in that you get that halfway state that is that has no utility at that point, but then the next generation it gets a little closer to the wing, and over enough generations it finally develops something that is useful. But all the previous stages it served no function whatsoever, which is completely backwards.
It's really a bad parody of all the research and what we know about the Archaeopteryx, if I said that right, the fossil, the
Archaeopteryx?
Yeah. Mildly dyslexic, I apologize. But yeah, they kind of seize on that and they say, well, look, see, it couldn't have been a transitional species because it wouldn't have, between the dinosaur with no feathers and the bird, you've got all these useless, stupid things.
Well, first of all, no one said that modern birds came from Archaeopteryx. No one.
Well, no, but I understand that, but that is their argument.
Yeah, no, that is true. What they think, okay, this is what people like Wandering Hermit, I guess, think, because this is what Gman and the rest of them think. They seem to fucking have this weird idea that you have a working species, then you have all these other species that don't work, and then you have another one that works, and then you have something that don't work. It's they don't understand this a scale, as a gradient scale that of these phylogenetic lines of diversification, and if a species can hang in the environment that they're in, and they get more adapted to it, and they survive. If not, they go extinct. If they have harmful mutations that are negative with respect to the environment, they die out. If they're beneficial, they get selected for, or if they're negative, they get selected against. So it's not really that complicated, and yet we know this stuff happens. Evolution happens on every single day in every single population of the planet. So I don't think whether they're arguing against evolution, what they want to argue is against common descent. But again, that's trivial to demonstrate as well, because if we have speciation, we have common ancestry, period. It's a logical conclusion.
What I've usually seen is because they've got it backwards. They look at it as, okay, here's this niche in the ecosystem, and now evolution is going to have a goal to fill that niche. There's no goal. I mean, evolution doesn't try and fit anything. I would look at it more like it just, the more like you were saying earlier, Steve, is the way that's the way it gets there. But when they put the cart before the horse and say, okay, evolution is trying to produce XYZ, that's what I think throws them off track, because it's goal driven instead of evolution.
Yeah, it's no more like evolution no more wants things than like a game designer would say, well, this game wants a badass chase sequence with motorcycles on the freeway. It's that same sort of ham-fisted language that people would use to describe something like that you would use to describe the goal-directedness of evolution. It's not that it's there, but it kind of helps us understand or conceptualize it a little better. Am I right?
Well, in some ways, it's like these people watched a half-assed version of that Ancient Aliens crap and went, hey, let's disprove everything and go, God said this is so, and the aliens came down and fucked the monkey.
I'm not saying evolution, but evolution.
Yeah, I'm not saying aliens innovated, intervention or anything, but alien intervention.
Hey, honestly, I don't care. If there are aliens, there's aliens. But I honestly, at this point, look around our world. Would you, if you were an alien species, want to come here?
Well, the planet itself is pretty nice. It's just the people living there that kind of get in the way sometimes.
That's true.
This is a great planet. It's just not, if we didn't have so many humans on it, but
they probably just don't come back because we've so thoroughly embarrassed them.
If we didn't have flat earthers and people who thought the Earth was 6,000 years old, yeah, aliens would probably come down here and go, God, this civilization is completely fucking in the Stone Age.
Exactly.
It's millions of years and they haven't learned a damn thing. We're out. You guys are on your own.
Well, I mean, come on. The aliens would come down and go, yeah. By the way,
quarantine.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
This planet has been quarantined. Don't ever land here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure Darwin's deity is watching all this too and is holding it up as further proof that I'm not religious in any way.
Well, no, I know you are, but fuck what Darwin's deity has to say. But again, it just boggles my mind that these people are this fucking dumb, and they're the ones thinking that they've somehow refuted a scientific theory. I just flabbergasted by it. I just really am. They have no concept of biology, of genetics, of physics, of math. Shit, you throw math at any of these guys and they're fucking lost.
Circumference of the ratio of pi, Steve.
I mean,
no,
isn't pi in the Bible?
Don't get it started on that. Brenda fucked that one all to hell last time.
Who doesn't love pie?
I don't. Tau kicks Pi's ass.
Tau's better. I like Tau too, to be honest with you.
I definitely like Tau better.
I mean, Tau makes things like easier mathematically in certain instances. So I'm a Taoist when it comes to that. And
I don't know if Tau is really that useful, though. I mean, pi is used conventionally for so many things. There's not really reason to replace it.
But there are certain times Tau is
no. Almost without fail, you can skip a step or reduce every equation by at least one step using Tau, because
no, they're for evolution.
I know, but do you want to know the reason?
Okay.
No, but that's
I want to know the reason.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Immutable. Go to Taoist.com and just look at the equation for anything that uses pi, and it simplifies it so much. I mean, everything becomes easier, and you don't have to convert back and forth.
I remember actually this guy James Powers. I'm going to.
He's a
hang on.
Card,
I know, but I'm going to give you guys a epic facepalm moment. Chemicals can't think and therefore have no capacity to design/create anything unless programmed by God.
He is so goddamn stupid. He actually I have a guy, a friend named Monkey Man, who messaged me. I left a comment from me, and he said, "Hey Steve," he said, this infamous guy James Powers, who I've dealt with before, says speciation exists. However, it doesn't prove evolution. He says speciation can happen without evolution, and I'm like, how the fuck does he figure speciation happens without evolution? In order to have speciation, you have to have a change of allelic frequency in the population. If you don't have a change of allelic frequency of the population, how do you have a divergence? Either anagenesis or cladogenesis. How do you have either one?
You want to know what James Powers is actually famous for, at least with me personally, for coming in dead fucking last in the first ever Dumb Fuck of the Year award when Gman won.
People didn't know who he was, probably.
Yeah, people didn't know who he was, and now that he's back,
yeah, he is.
It's always good for another go.
Just seriously dumb.
Am I the only one who thinks that sounds like a screen name, like Ron Jeremy or something like that?
Yeah, it sounds like a porn star thing. Yeah. Oh, Monkey Man's in the live chat. Yeah, no, I mean, I'd asked Monkey Man. Monkey Man, I said, "Hey, does this guy want to come into a hangout?" And then I recognized the name. I recognized the icon. I'm like, "Oh, not this fucking guy." No. And Monkey's like 89 anyways. But,
you're back. God damn it. I was praying that he wouldn't ever come back, and he came back. So does that mean answer prayers aren't a thing?
Yeah, I think you demonstrated unanswered prayers are a real thing.
So
Xbox fiend molecule lives matter. What does he think that you have to have intelligence in a DNA to have chemical bonding take place? I mean, do you need a consciousness to have a glycosidic bond?
Do you need consciousness for gravity to work? I mean, I'm pretty sure he would say yes to that shit.
Well, he'd probably say there's no such thing as gravity.
Yeah, I'm correct, like it or not. Chance can't design/create anything. That's what he's telling me. What fucking idiot.
But Lemetsu didn't ask, is Ronnie still butthurt and hiding in the other chat? Or was that my chat? Yeah, my chat. Ronnie disabled all his videos. He hit them all. And then just kind of, nobody's heard from him.
Can we just say that we can thank my girlfriend for that? Thank you.
I think she pissed him off rarely. I think he was really fucking pissed off.
Yeah, because everyone was calling him like a fag, a dickhead, and whatever. And then all she said was, "This is comical," and that set him off.
Yeah, Wondering Hermit, he says, "No, I think Ronnie is sick and tired of these pointless gay debates." There's no pointless gay debates when it comes to evolution and creationism. We have debates, we have discussions, but there is no debate on evolution versus creationism. Creationism is wrong, evolution is a fact. That is not debatable. I don't debate that shit. I did it once. I debated evolution versus creationism with Wayne Fillmore, as people know. But that was the last time I really have ever debated that particular topic, because I find that it's just something that's not debatable.
Well, here's the reason.
But I won't debate evolution. It's a fact.
Well, here's a reason why there's no sense debating it. Steve can actually provide a model in which we can make predictions. Ronnie can't. There you go. Point made.
But
yeah,
kinds produce after their own kind, guys.
Yeah, creationism's true. No, but I understand why people do debates. Like Reg does debates with Flat Earth. We all know Flat Earth is true, but we find them entertaining. He does it for exhibition. He doesn't do it to try to say, oh, look, maybe the Earth is flat. Let's discuss this in a debate and see who's right. No, that's not what it is. It's you're wrong. You're an idiot. Flat Earth is bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That's how Red approaches these things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say as somebody who is not the sharpest tool in the box, sometimes the debates are very informative, if for no other reason than to hear the common objections and then good responses to them.
But again, there's certain debates that I find more interesting than others. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the whole moral argument thing, but at least there's some things to be said on who's right, who's wrong when it comes to morality. And like with Negation of P has a debate with Ken Hovind, I would be interested in that. Right? That's something that I find to be a debatable issue. What constitutes morality? What constitutes, our ethical systems that we have? But to say that evolution doesn't happen, yeah, you're an idiot. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about you. You're just stupid.
You're just as wrong as saying that the Earth is flat.
Just as wrong. I don't see any difference to me. It's both potato.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know a minister who, in fact, has went to college. His degree is in theoretical physics, believes in aliens, but still clings to the fact that he believes that God created everything.
Well, I mean, there's different degrees of people's, like, thought processes that are skewed, right? I mean, nobody's going to be completely, well, we're not going to have a completely normal society. You're going to have standard deviations of insanity out there. And so you might have a person with a couple PhDs, they might think the most weirdest thing because that's how their brain works for whatever reason.
Yep.
I mean, again, believe it or not, I mean, I'm very familiar with this based on where my wife works and the old school up there. I mean, it's a national laboratory. And I'm telling you, anyone over probably 60, 65, even, I mean, they have multiple PhDs and these are, she's right next to the physics lab. Her department's, and it's high level people. These are, like I said, national laboratory research scientists. And they're still the vast majority over 50, over probably 65 believe in God. And, as much as we want to sit there and look at that as, I don't know, almost incompetent, at the end of the day, we cannot negate that. It cannot be completely proven without a doubt to not be the case. And so it's tough once you start going down that road. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson put it best. He, at last count, about 85 to 90% of the scientific community does not believe in a God. They're nuns. And he said that shouldn't be something that we walk around with kind of as a badge. In fact, the interesting question is why is there 10 to 15% who still do?
Well, what we complain about is something different. Okay, the God, I look at it as kind of an unfalsifiable, unverifiable claim, at least for now. Someone's going to have to change that for me because I can't do it myself. That's why I have these conversations. However, when you get to something like flat Earth, that is such demonstrable bullshit that anybody, literally anybody, can simply go outside and look up to figure out, gee, the Earth ain't flat. I mean, it's literally that easy. So when you deal with flat Earth, that's a lot different than the God question. The flat Earth question is fucking retarded, period.
Exactly. And Red, I'm right there with you. And that's why I gravitate away from God in general and get more into the philosophical end of, ethics, morality, epistemology, because now I can use their own framework to demonstrate what happens when you use that in a quote unquote real world setting and how it completely just blows up in your face. And in this, but again, using the, one's ability to believe in God as kind of a acid test to I don't know, their intellect or rational ability, I think that's dangerous ground to get on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean it quite that way. What I mean is, okay, I've studied several different religions. 9 and 10 religions say identical wording. The Christian religion, as far as Christianity itself, is fairly, yes, it's not new, but it's fairly new compared to some of the older religions. There's, for example, Zoroastrianism. But Mike, here's a quick debatable comment. All right, for those people who believe in God, God of the Bible says that He created everything and knows everything, beginning to end. Why then, who is this being who hates evil and has stated as such in every form of Christian text, say that he hates evil, create a being such as Lucifer, knowing full well that this creature or being would then become evil?
I mean, I can play devil's advocate, so to speak, if you want me to.
Before you do, can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Red.
Yeah, before anyone picks up or anything goes, Tommy Hall says, no, but there is strong evidence is that the universe was created. I call bullshit on that. Please come on. Please come on into this hangout and explain that to me, being that most of the universe will, fucking kill us.
Well, even there, I mean, even if it was, which it is, 99 point and just start adding nines until your hands start bleeding.
Yes.
Percent is going to kill you. It could still be contrived. But the key is that if Tommy is going to make that type of claim, he's got the burden of proof. He's got to demonstrate what exactly compels him to say that. Where exactly. So just stating that, just again, Tommy, I mean, you've talked before. I like you personally, man, but your assertions are just that.
His assertion is this. My assertion is not that God did not create the universe. I am not saying that whatsoever. I'm saying that his assertion that there is evidence for it is bullshit. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So if he is going to say that there's evidence for it, then call me out on calling bullshit on you. Come on into this hangout, tell me how it's bullshit, and then I will go ahead and concede. But until you do, you can kind of go fuck yourself.
No, and I'm right there with you, Red, because, I mean, I've been doing this for, well over 2 decades now, and I'm still waiting for the quote-unquote evidence for this.
Yep. I have always said, at the end of the day, my argument is not that God does not exist. My argument is that your arguments for God's existence are absolute shit. So far, no one's been able to prove me wrong on that. It's been that's goddamn years.
And that's the problem. It's not just it's not just Tommy's that are bad. It is across the board. I have yet to find anything compelling.
And by the way, I want to point this out. One of the reasons Gman doesn't even understand the evolutionary thing is because he uses his own definitions and then sets up an effigy and a straw man thing. I mean, he basically said macroevolution is one kind of animal turning into another kind of animal. No, Gman, we've explained to you that's not what the fuck it is. Not even remotely close to what it is. You have the dumbest fucking ideas of these things, and you're like, oh, I proved it wrong. Well, yeah, nobody fucking says that because that's not what macroevolution is. Macroevolution is when you have a bunch of processes in multiple populations rather than just one population. And speciation does that because you have one population that turns into 2 populations or more. In the case of Encetina salamander, 19. It's not one kind into another kind. And this is what I'm saying. These people are so goddamn stupid that they prop up this dumb fuckery of what they think they understand and then go, oh, look, I've just proved everything wrong. Well, no, you proved what nobody in the world fucking believes besides you idiots.
Mm-hmm. Basically, congratulations on defeating a straw man.
Does anybody in the scientific community actually use the term kind?
No.
It's completely arbitrary. There is no definition of kind. That's the problem.
There's some classifications in botany that they don't have in like phylogenetics that they don't use. I don't remember the terms. They're very specific terms that they use in botany. but it's not even kind. It's a type of species thing. It means very specific things, but I don't remember the names off the top of my head.
That's something that always frustrates me, is when people will try to take on a point of view that they don't agree with, and then they try to frame it within their own context and, you know, use their own definitions for stuff. It's almost disingenuous.
Well, because they don't know about, they never studied this stuff, right? They never opened up a book on it. I said the other day that I think Neil Shubin's Urine of Fish should be required reading for anybody who wants to talk about evolution. And you know, they've never read it.
And just to kind of reply, he says, you people will accept no evidence. Actually, Tommy, just because I haven't accepted your evidence doesn't mean I won't accept any evidence at all. It just means that the evidence you have brought me is not satisfactory. That's all it means, okay?
Human kind, elephant kind, giraffe kind, whale kind.
The problem is you. The problem is you, not me. It's all you. It's all your fault.
So Rez, look at Tommy Hall thinks it says 8.7 million extant eukaryotic species, and that's probably being conservative, right? He thinks that each one of them is an individual kind, I guess, right? And he's going to try to explain how 8.7 million extant species came from the Ark, and yet when we ask them to do this, they always fail. It always fails. Like, why don't you just show us a model that we could produce all the species we have today in 6,000 years? Come on. I don't know why they can't do this.
Well, the math boils down to, for 4,000 years, you'd have to discover 14 new species a day.
That's being conservative. I mean, oh my God. I mean,
14 new species a day. I got
so in one generation, it's speciated 7 times or some shit, right?
That is quite a lot of fucking.
Whatever the hell that would mean to be, you know.
That'd be fun. Okay. That'd be animals just going at it nonstop.
Yeah.
Just a brief input.
So that's like two lizards having sex and coming out with a porcupine, right? That's how it works.
Yeah. God, that is a shitty birth. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, what I was gonna say is, well, look at what our own government and other governments are doing now. They're testing our own DNA in space to set up a genetic version of an Ark on the moon.
Well, that is kind of true. There are genetic differences from people that are on Earth to their counterparts, like, you know, like the twins. Remember the twins? One's sent up in space, one's down here. They did find DNA differences between the two.
Right. Well, the article I had read was that they had tested human semen and egg in space, and found that there was relatively very little genetic degradation from if I can talk, solar radiation, to the point where they are actually thinking that this might actually work. Yeah and no, but that comes back to where does this, they stem this idea from, you know, there's a lot of them, like you said, that are still Christian. Well, somehow that idea has now passed over to what should we do in case certain people die, or our species dies, or the world is laid to waste. What happens when an asteroid or meteor hits that genetic depository? Then it's gone.
Well, then our genes go sailing around the universe.
We need Mars to become habitable. Hurry up, Elon Musk, get your shit together.
Well, I think that's going to be a challenge. I mean, because there's something called perchlorates in the soil of Mars that would be very detrimental to any kind of building we put there. We're going to have to find some materials and shit that aren't going to be susceptible to that, because it's highly oxidative.
Do you, Steve? Are you fucking doubting the Elon Musk?
I don't doubt the Musk, but
don't doubt the Musk.
A lot more than we have.
Do not doubt, man. Elon will answer all questions and will make all things whole again.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Tommy, look at, all you have to do is show us phylogenetic trees for the 8.7 million extant species, how they came from the Ark. That's all you got to do.
And
it's just not that challenging. If you're right, you should be able to do that. At least find some young Earth creationist has done it and just plagiarize them. Oh wait, they haven't been able to figure it out either.
You guys have shoved evolution up his ass so many times. I kind of want to have my own logo at it because, as you know, my forte is not with biology or evolution. Quite honestly, I don't give a shit about the topic. But when it comes to space, however, that's something that I like talking about because I'm a space nerd. So Tommy made a claim earlier that there is evidence in the universe that shows it being designed. Well, I want him to back that up. So if he can actually do that for me, that would be great.
He's talking about teleological design, not a teleonomic. So make sure that we clarify this because there are people out there that will say that's teleonomically designed. Okay, fine. But once you say it's teleologically defined, I mean, like I'm reading. Yes, I'm still reading it. I haven't finished it yet, but I've got it right here. I am working on it. Hugh Ross, Problem Planet. He's trying to make a case for teleological design, and he's also making a case, that we're amazing that we haven't been extinct. He actually has a good point about that. I'm surprised we're not extinct either. But to make an argument for teleological design, you're going to need more than just, it looks designed.
Okay, I thought there has to be some proof to be able to say, it's been designed.
But I think it goes farther than that because, as Red pointed out, I don't think it looks designed. It looks completely fucked up as far as designed to house us anyway.
Well, it's designed. I mean, it is designed for black holes.
That's about all it's designed for. Exactly.
It's designed for black holes. I mean, even on Earth, shit out there will fucking kill you. And so when it comes to this so-called perfect design, where exactly are you looking? I mean, sure, shit may look designed when you're comfortable in the comfort of your own home with air conditioner going, but out there with, shit trying to kill you all the time and, water that will fucking kill you so you can drown and wisdom teeth, which fucking suck.
Tommy says, Steve, then all you have to do is show us the common ancestors of all these million classes of animals. No, we just have to show you the common ancestor when they would be. And some of them we do know. And if we show you just one, your theory's done. Oh, look, Pyrrhopithecus catalonicus, 12 million years ago, common ancestor to orangutans, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, and humans, discovered in Spain. That is a transitional fossil. Boom, creationism dead. There you go. I mean, we could do that for thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them. We don't have to do it for all of them. But if we could do it for one, we could do it for more. And you can't do it for any of them from the ark. You can't show us one line, pick one animal, and show the lineage from that fucking ark. You cannot do it because it's stupid.
And Tommy Hall said, perfect design. Red made that up. Okay, I'm sorry. Are you saying that God's design wasn't perfect then? Is that what you're telling me here? That God's design was not perfect? I have to hear this because this is where he starts playing games, and I actually like playing the bones.
Well, go look up Pyrrhopithecus catalonicus. They found the bones. You can go out. You can go to the museum that they have them in. You can go check them out. And, be my guest. You can get your little permit to do research on them. The scientists discovered them. They predicted where they'd find it. It's like the Tiktaalik, which was, by the way, not Nova Scotia. I'm not going to make that mistake again. They started looking for things in Nova Scotia, and where the island that they found it on used to be where Nova Scotia's at, but it's not actually Nova Scotia. But okay.
Was it ever perfect, Tommy? Was it ever perfect?
See, I mean, I think that you two need to get together and do a debate because, or nothing else. I mean, I guarantee you, I'll sit quietly and let Red and him talk, and I'm sure everybody else on this panel will do the exact same thing because I think it would be a really interesting conversation. Tommy, you're here, you're typing. Come on, all the rest of us will stay quiet. I promise you. I'm not going to talk.
I would love to have a conversation with him because, quite honestly, I've actually never had a true one-on-one with Tommy. And on a topic that I will actually enjoy. Again, evolution is interesting and all, but it's just not my cup of tea. But however, when it comes to space,
have Tommy Hall explain how
cosmology exactly.
Have him explain what Kent Hovind failed to explain to KC the other day, King Crocoduck, how you have a galaxy that's 13 billion light years away. How light doesn't take 13 billion light years to get here. That's what I want to know from Tommy. Fuck this biology shit.
Well, Tommy might not believe in 6,000 years. I don't know.
He does.
I have no idea. Oh, wait a minute. Steve, I have to ask you. Because King Crocoduck was in there, and I know he is smart with this kind of shit, I'm guessing the concept of light speed and the space itself expanding and light speed within the expanding space-time confused Mr. Kent, correct?
Well,
I knew it.
Kent Hovind, his bread and butter being dense, right?
Yeah.
And he actually said, well, what you guys said just doesn't make sense in light of physics. And we're all like, that's general relativity. And King Crocodile's like, well, dude, if you think you're smarter than Einstein, you think he refuted him, hey, have at it. Because that was basic shit that KC was talking about.
Yeah, and like we talked about, the problem is, actually me and EO were talking about it the other day with Dreadnought, is that the problem with Hovind is he's stuck in classical Newtonian physics and hasn't worked past literally the 1800s yet.
Correct. He doesn't understand. I don't think he understands relativistic concepts,
let alone quantum. I mean, he's so far out of touch that everything has to boil down to, at best, Newtonian, and you can't think on those scales from a Newtonian standpoint. It doesn't work. It won't at all.
We have a whole bunch of shit that we have actually figured out since Newtonian, and he hasn't even bothered to educate himself.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about the cosmology. I'm burned out on evolution, creation shit.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so burned out. It's done. You guys have never provided any shred of evidence that falsifies evolution. We're done with it. I have no desire to have an evolution discussion with Tommy. Now, if he wants to have a talk about cosmology, come on in. I am happy to have Reds do that.
I would love to have a talk about cosmology.
I love cosmology. I actually like cosmology more than I do biology. So
it will go. It will go this way. I would ask him to justify that assertion he made about cosmology and the designer argument thing, and that it shows signs of being designed. I'm going to argue there is no such signs. You're actually reading into the universe a little too much if you're going to assert that. And guess what, Tommy? I am willing to back that up. And since I'm already here, I'm ready to lead. So come on in, Tommy. Let's go. Let's actually have this convo, and let's see what you can do.
And Tommy, if you need a space, I'll be more than happy to give up my space for you to jump in here.
Oh, there's plenty of room.
Well, I'm just saying, if he's worried about me jumping in or anything else, I'll be more than willing to bow out.
You're not going anywhere.
Quick, chain him down quick before it runs away.
Steve, don't forget about Tommy. He's unique amongst these creationists. He's a neo-Lamarckian, and the reason he's adopted that position is he hopes that'll explain the hyperspeciation problem since the arc. So, Red, just be prepared. He's unique amongst.
Nah, he's not going to come in. He said maybe next time. Oh, well, yeah.
So I want to move on from the evolutionary crap because, like I said, until I get one of these guys to actually give me an actual shred of evidence I can look at, a model of some kind, I have nothing else to add to that discussion. I think that my discussions with Wayne, my debates with true empiricism, will just to the point of I have nothing else to say to them about this topic.
Yeah, that's actually a cop out, Tommy. I'm sorry, that's just a cop out. I mean, we're all willing to. Well, most of us, however, except for one of us who's actually going to talk to you, are willing to mute to actually have this convo with you.
I'll sit back and listen to you guys. I mean, I got to moderate a little bit because that's what I do, but I mean, I wouldn't mind that. But.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much rolling out the red carpet for you. So
and by the way,
go
Christina,
ahead and have this convo.
Sorry, Christina, I will say this. She says there's no such thing as an evolutionist. I wouldn't say that. The evolutionist is a real word. I'm an evolutionist. An evolutionist is defined as somebody who accepts evolutionary theory. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't let it be a pejorative. Be like, yeah, I'm an evolutionist because I know evolution is a fact. It's nothing to be. I think it's a silly word. I mean, we don't have gravitationalist. It's silly, but it is a legit word. It's in the dictionary, so it's might as well just own it. That's just my personal.
Guys. I am gonna say thank you for letting me come into your hangout. I hope to catch you the next one. And I got to part company because I am at 4% on my phone.
Well, we appreciate you coming by. I'm glad you liked the debate with KC. I'm looking forward to moderating the next one. So
awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I do have one last topic for everybody. The idea of social evolution needs to actually take place over the blind following of every day-to-day dumb shit that comes out there.
Well, there you go.
All right.
I would say
thank you, sir. Spread the word. Tell people to come join us.
I will.
Thank you. So I do a dick measuring contest. Oh, actually,
I got something we could.
Gman's done. He's already over.
I was going to say I got something that we might, if y'all want to stay on cosmology, I've got an idea that's kind of I don't know, a little somewhat controversial, and I'd like to get everybody's feel on this. Okay, so let's think about generation ships. We've got to, let's say we're trying to go to the closest star, or roughly, 6 light years. So it's going to take at least 10, 15 generations to get there. The argument that I would put forward is that the best crew for that generation ship would contain no men whatsoever, at least in the seed population. So we have, let's say, it's big enough to have 20,000 people on board. All of them would be women, preferably lesbians, and the way that they procreate would be through our artificial insemination with stored sperm. And the reason I say that is because from a energy standpoint, women are going to be smaller, which means we're going to need less fuel to accelerate. Secondarily, they're smaller. They're going to require less food, less oxygen, less everything across the board. From a social standpoint, if they're homosexual, then they're still going to be able to have productive relationships, the whole deal, and procreation is not a problem. So, I mean, I've got a ton of pushback on that. So I'd like to hear thoughts on that.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did.
Hey, Jade. Hey, Brenda.
So you're just basically saying that we're not going to have sex in space?
No. I mean, if there was still, I mean, think about it like this: if it was lesbian, they could still have fully productive relationships, sexual and the typical relationship. It's just there would be no men, at least to begin with, and preferably until you got to your until they got to the actual planet that they were looking at colonizing.
Sure. Or we could just
Hi, Ned.
we could just start all having parthenogenesis and not worry about men at all.
Yeah, that might happen.
But I mean, there's so many other things we have to worry about space flight that I think that's probably the least of the things. We have so many problems to overcome to actually travel between stars. I think that would probably be the least of our concerns. I don't think we could actually make it to another star colonized. I think it would be very difficult.
We could send
robots. Sure, robots. I think, but human life. I think it's going to be very difficult to radiation exposure. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's going to be very difficult. We might make it to the nearest star, but we're not going to be able to colonize the galaxy in any reasonable amount of time before our species probably becomes extinct, I think. But who knows?
Well, we've got 3 or 4 billion years, and you got to figure in the last 2,000, the growth rate.
Well, we'll be extinct. Okay. First of all, anybody on Earth is going to be extinct on humans at some point. We're going to die out. Millions die out. We have to go to other planets, and we come to other planets. We're going to speciate to some other species, anyways, probably. So I think the human race is doomed at some point. It's a biological fact.
Well, it has to be at some point. I mean, the heat death of the universe alone will cause that.
Well, that's true too. I wasn't thinking that far.
Can I suggest something here?
Sure, Jade.
Sphere.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have to go to another planet. We can create our own. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we had the ability to create a Dyson sphere, we would be a level level 2 or 3 technological civilization.
I think it's like level 2, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but
even then, that's finite. I mean, we're looking at we're constrained to about 3 billion years there.
And we got to get off this planet. If there's a cataclysmic event, if there's a gamma ray burst or an asteroid hit, we've got to find some other ways to continue. So we'd have to go to another planet at some point.
I wouldn't mind going to Mars. Quite honestly, fuck this place.
Well, gamma ray burst would fuck Mars up too, but an asteroid obviously wouldn't.
Well, at least I can ride on a Falcon 9 before I die.
You would go up in space in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Oh, damn straight.
Yeah, I wouldn't. My daughter told me that she wants to go skydiving the other day, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Yeah. I was like, my daughter was like one of those really timid, scaredy cat kind of chicks. Not anymore. She's like,
I'm gonna go skydiving.
What do you fear about skydiving, other than the parachute?
I don't really have a fear per se. I don't like that first 8 seconds where you're not at terminal velocity yet.
Well, I'll tell you, because I do skydive. And
you're a pilot. I would expect you to skydive.
But the thing is you don't feel what's weird about it. You think that you would get that sensation of falling, and that that like you do on a roller coaster or whatever. You don't. It's basically all you get is once you step out of the side of the aircraft, it's just extremely windy, and if you don't look at the airplane especially, you just feel like you're floating. You just feel like you're just in this huge wind tunnel. There's no sensation of falling at all.
I've heard that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I just the mind. I mean, the mind is
all the more reason to do it if you're afraid.
Well,
not really afraid of it. I mean, I would probably, if I had to do it, I would do it. I mean,
face your fears, conquer them.
Well, negation. You told me that you have the ability.
3 tours in a combat zone. I'm not too worried about skydiving.
Well, Negation actually told me he had the ability to do temporary zero G pulls, and you still owe me for that, by the way.
Dude, I'm here. I got at least 4 airplanes sitting on the line right now that we can go. All you got to do is get here.
So you really think, Ned, that when you're jumping out of that plane and you're not at free fall yet because of the wind, you think it's just a sensation of just, okay, I'm just in a wind tunnel?
Dude, I'll tell you the best way to feel what it's like. There's these places around called iFly, and what they just got big turbines on the bottom, and they get wind blowing you up, and literally you levitate there. That's exactly what it feels like. I mean, you can get a sensation of falling if you look at the airplane and watch it kind of, of course.
No, I would be looking out that way.
But I'm telling you, man, you don't feel it. And what's nice is when you're sitting in the door, you've already got all of that wind blowing on you from the air going by the fuselage. So, I mean, the transition to falling, quote unquote, I guarantee you will feel a lot more G load and a lot more sensation of speed when you're under the canopy than when you're not under the canopy.
I tell you what, if somebody said, hey, if you skydive, there'll be no more young earthers or flat earthers on the entire planet, I'm up there. I'm up there in a heartbeat. I'll do it. But see, I don't desire to go to space like Reds. I wouldn't want to go to Mars. Fuck no.
Oh, I do.
I would too.
I mean,
no.
I mean, the thing is that as long as I get to name the rocket, I would like to name the rocket. And the mission, Operation Let's Get the Fuck Off This Planet.
I want to nominate G Consciousness for Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Oh, what stupid shit!
Nomination, but go ahead.
I blew his mind when I told him that organic matter was not necessarily alive.
Right. It just means it has carbon.
No, he was convinced that it was alive.
No, okay. Organic just means it has carbon in it. It doesn't have to be alive.
No, it's alive, Steve. It's alive.
Is that what he really thinks?
That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking
wow.
I mean,
okay.
It's
I want to timestamp on that.
Or it's made from living stuff. No, it's either alive or it's made from living stuff.
I mean, just think about what that would mean.
Well, it depends. Not necessarily. It depends. Organic, no, that's not necessarily true. There's a different. Organic means different things in different situations. Just like natural means different things in different situations.
Well, sure. You can give concrete organic forms. That means it's reminiscent of living forms.
Organic just means
in architecture.
It's organic and inorganic, right? Organic means that it has carbon. And then if you talk about farming, organic means that it's without pesticides.
Well, yeah, that we were discussing that topic though. So
but organic just means that it has a carbon. I mean, inorganic.
Yeah, I think he thought I used the example of a piece of bread, and I think he thought a piece of bread was alive.
All right, then. I mean, if organic really did mean alive, organic chemistry would be really interesting.
Jade, in the group chat, Veckel did not say that. You lie. You lie.
He did say that.
No, he did not.
He did.
Holy shit. Did you read out what you just wrote there? I'm dying. We can make a video about this if this is what he said.
Oh, I know. I'm going to go back later. For those of you who are wondering, I know roughly where it is, so I'm going to find the exact timestamp. Veckel said, "We don't see a man having sex with a dog and then producing some fish."
What the fuck does that even? How does he think that somehow would make evolution?
It was pretty bizarre. It was pretty bizarre.
That is pretty bizarre.
Zulu, right? Not long before that, Zulu. What exactly did he say?
I mean, for fuck's
About
sake,
He asked how a
the
rat
shrew
creature
having about the
with an elephant.
the shrew having sex
Yeah.
with an elephant. Yes.
I don't know how these people can function
Yeah,
in society at this level of stupid.
Well, and
But what
they
don't
wanted
get
to
is
know how an elephant could come from a rat-like creature. And I typed in the live chat, look up elephant shrew. Also look up, I didn't bring this up because I forgot the name, but you know that close relative of the elephant? The hyrax. Look up hyrax.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the.
Both of these
one that's like
animals
millions of. Yeah.
mated 2 elephants. And they're both rat-like or sized. It's not the way he thinks of it. And Tommy again brought up this thing of show me the ancestor to elephants. I actually found that once. I went to the trouble to look that up. But he does things like that. Show me the ancestor of a moose and a cow.
Well, I don't show anything anymore.
Oh well, I just did it for the heck of it. I mean, I didn't like. But
Jade,
you can find these things out.
Jade, if you find one common ancestor, you've already disproved their model.
Right.
Yep. Gonna head out, guys.
One.
Take care.
Yeah, Reg.
Red,
I'm glad you like my video. So, welcome to the Great Debate Network of channels. So,
a long time ago, and I don't remember who this is, and somebody remember because I've been looking for this reference for a while. Biologist who was doing a debate with a creationist. It was a famous creationist, and this is just driving me crazy. I can't remember who was involved, and he'd had discussions, debates with this creationist before, and the creationist always said, "Well, show me." Well, in between the time this guy and this new debate, 3 intermediaries in the evolution of a whale. So when the creationist goes, okay, because they originally they had 3. So he goes, well, you want me to show you a transitional fossil between the and the whale? Here's 3 of them. His response was, or more. Because he wanted to know all the in-between ones. And that's what they do. And that's essentially what Tommy's doing. Show me the ancestor of all these millions of fossils. Or
yeah, like I said, you don't have to show
form.
You don't have to show them millions of fossils. First of all, you can show them just the list of transitional fossils that Wikis has. That's good enough. Prove tectonic. I mean, it's a waste of time to show Tommy anything because he just doesn't really want to look. But I'm at the point now. If they think they can falsify evolution, great. Show us the evidence. They don't have any.
It reminds me of an old video, and I wish I could remember the name, but I mean, this is probably 5 or 6 years old, that somebody posted about a creationist traveling through time, and they started in the Jurassic, and they kept coming all the way back. And the way the video ended is at the end, when they got back, quote, to current time, one of the followers of that church asked him, so, hey, where are the dinosaurs? And the guy laughs at him and he goes, right there. And he's pointing at a chicken. And that's the whole problem, is unless you can walk them through literally generation from generation from generation all the way to today, it's there. You can't have any quote unquote gaps in the fossil record, or they won't buy it. And it's totally an unreasonable request. And inference apparently has no power or deductive reasoning either.
Negation. You could literally take a time machine, go back 4 billion years, show them exactly the life beginning, and go here's a million years later, there's a million years later, million years later. Oh, what happened in between there? It wouldn't matter to these people, and they'll still be in denial. They don't want to accept it because they are focused on the fact that their paradigm is true no matter what. And no amount of evidence can change it. That's the problem with the young Earth creationist model. You cannot falsify it to most young Earth creationists because that has to be true.
Yeah, the last hangout
that has to be true.
The last hangout I had with Matthew Steele, that's exactly what we talked about, is wanting to know what's true. And without that desire to care more about understanding reality, and is truth more important or are your beliefs more important? And until you get to the point where you care more about what is true, I don't care what I believe at this point. You're exactly right, Steve. You're never going to be able to move off of that dogmatic, this has to be real.
And that's why, I mean, I don't think evolution is even worth discussing anymore with these people. I think that the age of the earth has to be determined more than anything for them. They need to falsify it, right? We know the age of the earth. If they think they can falsify it, that's what they need to bring to the table, because evolution, they're not going to be able to do it. If they want to try to falsify it, radiometric dating, I'm game with that. Sure, go for it. But they don't. They don't bring that kind of evidence to the table. And I really wish they would start. I'd rather talk about something other than evolution.
Well, that's what happens when you come from a long line of inbreeding in their minds.
Tom says, "Oh fuck it, Steve is right. G-Man's just a moron." Sorry. Pretty much. I mean, what is it? Okay, that hangout that you had in there, Brenda. By the way, I like I said, I don't recommend anybody going to those hangouts, but I can't stop them. You went in there and you I guess you held your own, from what I understand. But to what point? They didn't know what the fuck you're probably talking about. They don't understand the topic. It's just a sideshow to them. It's not even entertaining at this point anymore. Why bother?
Makes me a better debater.
Okay, well, yeah, very true. But I mean, did they actually think that they got something out of it? Did they think they've falsified evolution?
Oh, they had a grand time, and they think they completely embarrassed me.
Boy, to be that delusional, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be great?
Even if you were wrong on everything, like I said, I didn't listen, so I have no idea. But let's say, just for arguendo, that you were wrong on everything you said.
Yeah.
How does that disprove evolution at all? I mean, that doesn't really mean anything.
No.
Yeah. No, Brenda did great.
This is mostly entertainment at this point.
I heard Brenda did pretty well.
Yeah, and that's why I was listening. But Brenda did great. And really understood what Brenda was doing. Saying, we need to get somebody else in here to help Brenda very well. Brenda was doing great. They just didn't understand doing great. That's what was so funny about it to me.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's
kind of like, look, if I want to show them how to do a differential equation and they never had basic algebra, they're going to be like, oh, Steve he's just, making shit up and doing this, whatever. They wouldn't understand it, right?
Yeah, it's voodoo science.
You're using imaginary numbers now, so you're making up numbers.
Look at that! Steve thinks I is a number.
Yeah, there's letters. There's letters and
stupid.
Next thing he'll be telling us something about pi is just the ratio of the circumference to the diameter.
Yeah, he'll just be saying, well, the value of pi depends on what kind of units you use.
Yes, the inner solipsism of pi.
Yeah. Yes, are you using cherry units? Are you using pumpkin units? Are you using pecan units? Yeah, what kind of pie are we talking about?
Pecan. I love pecan pie.
Yes,
I do.
Good.
Whipped cream on top.
I haven't done in a long time. Have you ever had butterscotch pecan pie?
No, but that sounds amazing.
I'm
trying to lose weight. I don't want to eat that.
It's got about like 4,000 calories in a slice, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've been eating this Edwards pie. Oh, so good.
To be on the side of Jello butterscotch pudding. Bottom was this butterscotch pie filling, and then you filled the top with pecans. It's wonderful.
You can't go wrong with that.
Y'all are going to make me end up paying Matt Slick. God.
What?
By the way, somebody said using rounding pi to 3 is good enough for most applications. No, it's not. You never want to take 3. The minimum you want to do for pi is 5 decimal places, 3.14159. That's the minimum you want to use in any calculation. Don't use anything less. 3.14159. That's it. After that, yeah, you get a little bit more specificity, but you don't want to round to 3. It's going to make it really, yeah.
Yeah.
In my day, we had to use slide rules, so it was 3.14. That was the best we could do.
Yeah, I mean, I remember some, 3.14, but I mean, we can do better than that now. We can do 5 to, yeah. I mean, 3.14159 is not too hard of a number to use for calculations. That's what it was in nuke school. You just use that. So.
No.
Yeah, they're using there's. Poor people.
You're breaking up a little bit too, Tony.
Yeah.
No, my bad. Well, I'll go. Jesus loves you guys.
Later, Tony.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you, man.
So, have you guys talked to any of the newer members? We had like 250 new people join in the last couple of days. Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Wow. My subs are up. Do you guys? I mean, my subs like 2 days ago was 336. You want to know what my subs are now?
I don't know. You probably passed me.
Oh, it's like a crazy. No, yours. I think so. Yours is like. What do you have? 1.3, I think.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just went over 15, so
I told you. The last time we talked, I told you you're going to pass me.
Let's see here. How many do I got? I got 15. And like I said, King Crocodile's making a shout out video, and another big YouTuber may have a shout out to me as well. He's asking me to do something for him. I won't say who at the moment, but if I could get if I can get 200 off a shout out and a couple more people shout out, I'm trying to hit 2K. That's my goal by the end of the year. So 500 more, it's doable.
You should easily make that.
If I don't make it, it's fine. But I mean, I'm happy. 15 is pretty good. But
Brett Keane is having regular episodes being broadcast on his, what is it, God TV or something like that.
Does anybody even go to his channel anymore?
I don't know. I was just saying.
He blocked me on Facebook last month, and I just haven't talked to him. I don't talk to him.
There's activity there. That's all I was saying. Is it?
Yeah. No, but it's wondering, we have all these new subscribers, but I'm not seeing too many more names in the live chat. So I'm kind of wondering. Shy. Well, I'm obviously watching because we have 60 people watching, which is not too bad for Sunday. I only had like 40, 50 earlier today, and I had like a couple weeks ago I had like 100 for a Sunday show, and then on that debate after show I did 150. But
well, at least here it's been a beautiful day, and I got outside. It was really nice out. So
it's been nice out here too.
You're competing with that too.
Yeah, and it's Father's Day and shit like that. And I mean, like I said, I just like to get a general idea of the numbers. Because we do use these as a metric. I'm not going to lie. I do use them as a metric. People say, oh, Steve's worried about numbers. Well, yeah, it's a YouTube channel. If you're not worried about your numbers, then what the fuck are you doing on YouTube? I really hate when people say, oh, well, people worried about viewership. Well, yeah, we have channels because of viewership, people. I mean, we enjoy this. Don't get me wrong. I would do it anyways if I had less viewers. I started off with 20 subs. So, but we like to have people view. But the difference is I don't change my thing for viewership like the flat earthers do, where I don't just say stupid shit like Gman does to try to get views. That's the difference. So this is what Wandering Hermit has to say. How do you know? Oh, why are we back on evolution? How do you know that the micro mutations that can accumulate and lead to the grand scale evolutionary changes exist in the first place? They don't. Mutations don't accumulate. There you go. So again, if you have a shitty question, how are you going to get a proper answer? Mutations don't accumulate like that. And why do they think mutations are harmful? They always seem to confuse mutations with mutagen. Totally different things. Mutation just means change. It's not good or bad. It's all with respect to the environment. It just means a different sequence of the amino acids. There's amino acids, nucleotides. God, I pulled a Niflheim free on that one. Did you hear that one? I think Jade just lost her shit. She almost had a heart attack.
Huh?
Oh, I said nucleotide. I said amino acids. I have nucleotides.
That was
Niflheim free makes Niflheim free does it all the time. But see, Niflheim free doesn't know the difference. He actually had thought for a while that DNA was comprised of amino acids, and people were telling him, "No, Neffy," and he'd be like, "Oh, well, this paper, blah blah blah." He's like, "No, Neffy, no. You're thinking of proteins." I'm not kidding, Jay. Was he on? How many times does he keeps on saying that DNA is comprised of amino acids? Do we keep losing Jade?
I think she is having problems.
Yeah. But anyways, he really does, and it was just funny as fuck. So yeah, these micro mutations. What happens is, look at. We're in a nutshell. You have a species that, because of an allopatric speciation, you have one species that diverges because of a geological boundary. They have different dietary requirements. They have different environmental factors. They become different things to their respect to their environment from the population that they diversified for them. So they're no longer biologically, reproductively viable with each other. Okay, they've changed enough where they're different types of species. That's what a species means. They're isolated from each other biologically because they've exposed to different environmental pressures, having different selections. That's what allopatric speciation is. It's not like an accumulation of mutations. It's just accumulation of changes. I mean, DNA changes. You have 3 unique, well, no, I think it's like 100 of something, unique mutations in you that you don't have from your parents. So because of these mutations, life can continue. Without mutations, life would not exist. You have to have them. They're critical to biodiversification.
Yep.
Well, Crazy Tech says, Steve says, I say that shit. I don't care about subs. Well, no, I do care about subs. I never said that I don't care about subs. What I'm saying is I don't care about subs where I would still be doing. I still would be doing this without a lot of people watching. I still would. I've done. I mean, for 3 years I didn't have. For 2 years I didn't have subs. But we do worry about subs. It is a metric. I like to think that people like to listen to people in our hangouts, you know, and not go over and listen to fucking Gman. So
I think the difference, Steve, is that if you care more about placating to the audience than you do about your content and being true to whatever you know is interesting to you, that's, at least in my opinion, where things start to go wrong.
Yeah, and you know, I've actually people they didn't stop subbing, but I've actually had people left the live feed because I didn't give them special treatment.
Yeah, and
these were Patreons, and I'm like, look it, you're being obnoxious, or you're causing problems, or there's drama, whatever. I don't care that you know I shouldn't say that. I mean, I love my patrons, I love people in my spanner, but that doesn't give you a special right to disrupt things, right? And I would rather you not have a spanner or not be a Patreon if you're going to cause problems. And since a few people have left, it's been real nice. So, I mean, it is what it is. But a lot of people that you would cause problems before have all gone to Discord, right? They've all gone to Crealism's channel, which is fine. Let them stay over there. I don't want Iron Nation over here. I don't want Dionysus over here. I don't want that group over here. You know, I miss some of the other people, like Joe doesn't come as much as he should. I miss Joe, but yeah.
Iron and Dio are no longer with Crealism.
Oh, they don't. What happened there? They don't go into their.
They left because they got really exasperated for some.
Well,
reason.
they're just fucking pieces of shit. That's why.
Yeah. Just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I don't change my viewpoints to placate the audience. That never will happen. I think Psychopath Atheist is right. Discord is toxic. I like Crealism. He's part of the network. I think he has a function because he keeps some of the people that I don't want over here over there. And I'm cool with that, right? A lot of the Nadia crowd that I just find to be duplicitous, let them go to Crealism shit, right? But it is a toxic environment over there. But I mean, I'll still advocate for him. I support his channel. I go over to Discord every so often.
Yeah,
it's not my thing.
Psycho came to Crealism and had a really an awesome rant. I fully support, you know, his rant because there were some really.
Doesn't he have awesome rants? Psychopath has some of the greatest rants of all time.
There are some pretty obnoxious people in there. They had some real white nationalists and stuff. And
see, I can't, and that's what I'm saying. I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know me. I have never liked the racist bullshit, and Discord seems to foster it. They really like the racial stuff. I don't. I find it to be reprehensible. I find it to be obnoxious. I mean, yes, there's certain times that certain things need to be discussed. Granted, I have open dialogue about it, sure, but they profit off of it. It seems, right, and that's what I don't like.
I don't think you can make any money off of Discord, but Crealism has that philosophy or ideology where it's all comers, all opinions and everything, and to a certain extent that's okay. But when you get nationalists and out and out racists in there, then it just goes over a line that I don't care for.
No, I agree with you on that. You know, we have open dialogue, but even in the Great Debate community, we have certain things. You cannot be come in here and espouse racist remarks. You can't come in here and espouse some kind of viewpoint of white supremacy or black supremacy. I don't want that in part of the Great Debate community. It's just not something I want to deal with.
But there, even there, I mean, you can go and troll the hell out of them, and I mean it. And to be honest, I've had a sock account before where I did go and troll those accounts.
How do they not recognize your voice?
Well, no, because usually what I do is I'll just do it in the comment section. I haven't been on live. Well, I can't say it. I've probably been on live, but this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. But the easiest way to completely dismantle or at least start to fragment any of those little cliques is throw in, because again, these people are not educated at all. But all you have to do is throw in the fact that, look, anyone with brown eyes, from a genetic standpoint, has to have some type of brown ancestry, either black, Hispanic, whatever. Now, again, that's total horse shit as far as...
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that? Oh, you know what? I remember this story. I know what's going on. Never mind. Well, let me finish. I actually know what's going on. Let me finish.
But see, then all you have to do is
told me this before.
Plant this little seed in their deal, back it up with what Hitler was saying, back it up with the Aryan bullshit race that he was trying to make the super race with the breeding camps and all that crap, and go, look, we'll use you, play the blue-eyed whatever Aryan, and look, we'll use you as a tool until we can weed you out. But we know that your blood is tainted because you have brown eyes. Those idiots, every time they look in the mirror from then on, are going to see those brown eyes. And as idiotic as they are, they're going to worry about that shit.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you also had probably people going, yeah, you know what, that's true. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, you got the blue-eyed people.
That's a fact. If you got brown eyes, you've got African American in you.
Exactly. I didn't think about that. Great point. We need to talk about
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That starts to fragment those groups. And I mean, think about it. If you could just isolate it to where you got little groups of bigoted people with blonde hair and blue eyes, how much of a subset that would be, and how completely inept that small group of people would end up being. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind those, because you'd have a group of 4 or 5 here and there.
Can I point something out real quick? I'd hate to segue back to what we were saying before, but just real quick. Somebody had mentioned something about a live chat about making claims, and I've said this before. I actually have a small little rant on one of my videos that not many people watched about it. But when we claim things, like we claim evolution's a fact, yeah, we have to back that up, but it's trivial to do so. All we have to do is explain. Give a site that says evolution is a change of frequency. We've observed this. Here's the site. Boom, boom, done. We don't have to show everybody all these experiments. So when we say macroevolution happens, to back that up, here's a site there's a scientific site that explains macroevolution, speciation, and it happens. At that point, we've made the burden. We've explained the claim. We're done. Okay. If at that point they want to debunk it or think they can show that it's wrong, great. That's all we're required to do, and people need to get off of this. Oh well, you need to show the claim that evolution is true by actually showing this in real time. No, we don't. All I have to do is show you a source that has already done the experiments. That's what a valid citation for a claim is. And don't let people tell you otherwise, because they're full of shit when they say, oh well, that's you're not showing us, you're just showing us a site. Well, if it's a peer-reviewed paper or if it's a established scientific reference, that's a completely valid reference source to validate a claim. So yes, when we say things, they're claims, but they're easy. They're true. For an evolutionist to back up a claim is trivial. Go get a high school textbook and you can back up your claims. That's all you need to do. Here's a textbook. I'm backed up. Boom. Do you guys agree or you don't agree?
Yeah, I agree. And recently, Tommy Hall was doing his usual thing in a long comment section. I don't remember if it was Nestle or someone else who gave him a link to a paper. And Tommy Hall came back and said, well, I can only see the abstract, and I don't see from the abstract how. So Nature, and I subscribe to Nature. So I downloaded the paper, and I put it in to Tommy. Haven't heard the word since. He also was complaining about something else, like the evolution of, where limbs come from. We were having a conversation in there, and I tried to explain to him that, okay, if a limb is shorter or longer, all the muscles and tendons and everything will naturally grow to fit it. And my example was people with achondroplasia, which is a form of dwarfism where the torso and head are the right size, but the limbs are short. All the tendons and ligaments and muscles and blood vessels that they need, right? Just because the limbs are short. So, and achondroplasia is 80% of the time caused by a single mutation. No ancestors had achondroplasia. So a single mutation caused shorter limbs, and yet the limbs have all the stuff that they need. You don't have to have a whole series of mutations to make the muscles fit and whatever.
Well, that's what they're looking for, though. They think one mutation produced limb.
Yeah.
Where they get this from, I have no idea. But they literally think that, you have no limbs, boom, one mutation, you're born, and now you have 4 limbs.
Or they go the other way.
The thing is, this
Sorry,
is
go ahead.
what Nephilim Free also said. I'm going to finish because how a turn into a limb, and he goes, well, it has to move back, and then you have all these other mutations that will make the muscles and tendons and things, because it's already programmed in the developmental process in embryology. And so Tommy thinks that's magic. So I gave him a link to a very extensive series of pages on the embryological development of limbs in humans. It's page after page after page that includes all the genes and what they do. That one neither.
And by the way,
they
you don't
can't handle it.
So you don't have to have a PhD to get a Nobel Prize.
No.
There's been an electrical engineer that has a master's degree and he won a Nobel Prize. But yeah, I told that guy in the live feed. What the fuck is his name? Wandering. Look at write your peer review paper, debunk evolution, falsified. You'll be famous. You're wasting your time to try to falsify evolution with a bunch of people that actually know a little bit about the topic. You don't, and the only way you're ever going to falsify it is if you write something and you convince the scientific community that you're right. That's how you falsify something. Just like a scientist has to convince people that they're right and their theories and their models are right. You have to do the same thing, only in reverse. You have to show that it's wrong. If you can't do that, then don't waste our time, because we've already looked at the evidence. We know the evidence is right.
Yeah. And if anybody out there, I was just going to say, if anybody out there is interested to that link to the site, it's a medical school site on how limbs develop in embryological, in utero. Happy to give it to you because I have it. Really terrific site. I haven't read the whole thing because it's a lot of information for where are the genes. So I gave him a site with tons of genes.
Well, stop giving him links. I won't give links to Tommy anymore. It's just he doesn't read them, so why bother?
It's entertaining for me. The one thing I have to admit I like about these creationists, especially the real dunderheads, is I learn from them because I go and look up this stuff. So I've got this terrific site now that I can read. I really like the whole concept of evolution of limbs, especially from generally called fish to what we used to call teleos, but we don't anymore. Term, from fish, quote unquote, to vertebrate, to to mammals. So basically vertebrate limb evolution. And that fascinates me. So because of Tommy being a dunderhead, I found a really cool site, and I'm very happy. So
yeah, I think we'd all
Tommy for being an idiot.
Well, I mean, I learned more about HC2 than I'll ever would have learned without it, thanks to true empiricism. So
they do. They do have a use.
You don't like people don't like my fire effect? Oh, fuck you guys. There you go.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I like the fire effect, but anyways, no, I'm going to drop my camera for 6 anyways because I'm going to take a 2-minute break here in a second. But anyways, real quick, I was going to say that the human chromosome number 2 thing. Now that Ruhif's doing much better, thank goodness he's out of the.
Yay!
He's pretty much he's cancer free. He's good. He's actually be in my area coming up here. He'll be only like an hour away. Hopefully, maybe up to see him. I don't know, but he's doing much better. And hopefully, once he gets off this flat Earth kick that he's on, debunking, not advocating for, we start getting we can qualify that. We can go back to talking about some of these issues because the HC2 thing is not dead. and the DNA degrading in water is not dead either. But I really want to get back to the HC2 because I think we kind of left that hanging because we couldn't get Dr. Tompkins in here. He's going to try to reconnect with Tompkins again, and he wants to have a discussion with him. But I want to go back to that human chromosome 2 things because I think there's a lot there that we still need to talk about that just totally blows the shit out of what Ronnie was saying. Just blows it out of the water because he just didn't have a fucking clue what he was talking about. So
and I want to throw one other thing out there. When I was on General Han Solo, I don't know if he's around out there anywhere, but if he's there, he had given me some links to go and look at, and I finally got through all of them. And anytime he wants to discuss, what I found and whatever, I'd be more than willing to kind of go over the problems I found with the podcast specifically.
What was the topic?
To be honest, it was trying to prove that it was rational or it was reasonable to believe that the Christian God exists.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be a good discussion for you and Han. I mean, Han is obviously an articulate, very intelligent guy.
Oh yeah, and that's why I said because he provided me with a bunch of stuff, and I mean I've been looking over it when I get time off and on, and I think I've got it to a point now where I can at least speak somewhat intelligently on what I've found and show him where at least the problems that I've found in the evidence that he provided.
Well, we definitely make that happen. He was earlier. I don't know where he took off. Well, he's in Australia time, so who the fuck time it is over there? It's probably 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but if he just happened to be around, I was going to tell him if he wanted to set something up, let me know.
Ever since that hangout the other day with Ken Hovind, I mean, I've been inundated with people commenting and all these new messages. And whose pussy is making noises?
That's probably mine. Hold on a second.
Sounds like it wants out. It was hungry. But anyway, feed that middle of bedsters, like feed the damn cat. Yeah, if anybody wants to in, let me know. I don't know how long we'll keep this open for. Ned wanted to hang out for a while. So I know I already had one earlier this morning, which by the way, I enjoyed that hangout this morning. That was a good hangout. But I'm really surprised a lot of the new subscribers haven't been, talking in the live chat or coming in. We want to have more people come into the hangout. So you're more than welcome to join us in the hangout itself. We actually want people to. I mean, if they subscribe, they get notifications that we're live, right? Or not. No. Hello? EO, you there?
I'm here, Steve.
Why is it be so quiet?
We're letting you talk, man.
I talk all the time. My voice is shot. Fuck.
If I knew idiots to talk about, it's hard.
Well, that's why I want to have some new people with new discussions. Yeah, Heavy Holler says give them time. They're probably still testing the water to see what's going on. That's true. And I've been going to other hangouts. I went to a hangout this morning. We met some very nice people. Gained some subs there. They'll be joining us. I'm trying to get a few other people to join us. Pimp Monk might be joining us sometime soon. You guys know who Pimp Monk is. He's got quite a few subscribers. He's been on our live chat a few times.
Steve, to solve your problem about safe flight, I just read a science fiction novel where they propose artificial intelligence von Neumann machines with
right, and that's right, and that's I've read that as well. I mean, Paul Davies suggested something like that decades and decades ago. And von Neumann machines would be viable, right? But
do you think we'll ever be able to actually upload human consciousness? That could guarantee effective immortality, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've had this discussion with Sam, and I admit that, I mean, he is right. I don't have a good reason to believe this, but it's a visceral thing. It's the only thing I can say is I don't see how we could ever map the human brain to an inorganic thing. Of course, who knows, right? I mean, maybe it's just my lack of ability to conceptualize such a thing.
Yes, but we're getting close to, if we haven't already, because I saw some references, but we're getting close to organic storage.
Yeah, and I think that ever happens, it's going to have to be a blend between organic and technology rather than pure technology. That's just a visceral thing, though. I can't really give any reason I think that, but I think that if you're going to have a consciousness of any type to have an intelligence, it's going to have organic components for some reason.
There have been science fiction stories, including one series that I can't remember the name of right now, movie, where the ships, the actual ships that they were flying through space in, were organic. Well, a combination, or organic and inorganic compounds. So, it's amazing what you can do. I mean, years ago, we wouldn't have thought of all things, of being the perfect thing to put on the outside of a spaceship. As a machinist, we used ceramic cutting tool or very hard steel, which kind of amazed me. I was like, what are you talking about? It's ceramic? And they're going, yeah, it's ceramic. Because, you think of ceramic as being, and stuff like that. But ceramics are very, very complex. Fortunately, my stepfather was an engineer for in all the space programs. He ended his career at Jet Propulsion Labs. He worked on the Gemini, the Apollo, the Poseidon missile, and the Mariner project. Explain to me why you use ceramics. It's like, wow, there are certain substances you don't realize. You just alter them a little bit. They have incredible properties. They recently found a new form of carbon. So who knows what the future could bring? If you can think of an organic.
Yeah,
well, it's still fairly new. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's
I remember reading that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a few months ago, but
a new isotope of carbon.
No, a new structural form of a new isomer of it.
Or allotropic.
I mean, I still remember.
Well, I'm sorry. What is it? What's the variant called?
They're called allotropes. But Jay, to your point, you know that one of the theories of abiogenesis is ceramics clay-based, right? You read that in the Blind Watchmaker, right?
Isn't it Montmorillonite? Oh God, I can't say that.
Montmorillonite. Yeah. The clay. Montmorillonite.
That's the one. Yeah. That's again. There's so many things we just don't know yet, and they're full discoveries, being made every day. I remember, one of the interesting things about getting to a certain age is you look at the past, especially the time I've lived in. So I was born in 1950, so I've lived through some incredible times. As I mentioned before, I was lucky enough to see Sputnik go by overhead when I was a kid. By the way, for those of you who are doubting me, I actually looked this up once actually I've looked it up more than once, but I looked it up fairly recently to make sure that my memory was not faulty. And yeah, it was there. People came out of their houses. We were all looking at it. Remember that. And all the way through the space program to now, well, we have the little rover on Mars, who, by the way, has a really interesting Twitter feed. Well, probably not really him. I remember when lasers were new. You had these great big machines to shoot a laser, and how you had to wear these glasses, and how incredible this thing was. A laser, wow! How could light do that? And today I play with my cat with a laser.
Yeah, but they're with all due respect, those are not real lasers. I mean, they're class 2 lasers, but they're LED diode.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, this, Jane. I'm not saying for your purpose.
I know this.
But live chat, I can't really call them lasers. They are technically they're an LED. They have a very small narrow beam, but they're not really a laser per se.
But to Steve,
go ahead.
I was going to say to Jane's point though, Steve. The phone I'm using to talk to you guys now is more powerful than the most advanced computer NASA had back in 1987.
Oh,
yeah.
Mega times bigger in power, more powerful.
I think it was 1959. Not absolutely sure. 58, 59. My dad was head of the accounting department for the City of Long Beach Water and Power. Okay. Used to use these incredible machines to do all the accounting. They look like mutated typewriters. There's always women that operated them. Would type all the accounting, all the bills and everything into these machines and do it really fast. I really wish I had a picture of one of these things because they were incredible. And then one day, because Long Beach was very wealthy back then because we had oil, tons and tons of oil. So it was one of the first cities to have computers. My dad took me in to computer system. It was exciting. Whole room full of big machines that held these gigantic tapes. Your phone is probably more powerful than those computers.
Well, did you see that? There's a picture of them loading a hard drive into a train, and it's like, I don't know, like 20 megabyte hard drive, and it's the size of a fucking, like, a small room. It's
but
huge.
Back then, my dad, they had the computers. They didn't have hard drives. It was all on tape.
But I mean, think about that. If I took a thumb drive, right? Let's say I've got like a 16 gigabyte thumb drive, and you took it back to that day, in the 1950s, they would think that's alien technology.
I worked for, I think some of you know, I worked for Seagate for over 20 years. Yeah. Watched the development of hard drives from the old, like, 40, well, really the 4096. The early ones was a 4056 was before my time, which was like a full height hard drive, which was like, what? It was less than 100 kilobytes, and I watched these move, the 225 up into the more powerful ones. And when I look back at, I actually have a bunch of old hard drives. They're non-functional. They were given to me at work.
Oh, hey guys. Hey,
it's astonishing how things change.
Bible Thumper Wingnut is having a hangout. They got Dr. Antonio Silvestro in there, Jade. You need to go over there.
Oh, okay. I will. I'll go over there.
You need to go engage him.
And I still, although, I can do it on your channel if you want, but sometime I want to run through a review of this book that I got called On the Origin of Kinds.
That's his book. Yeah.
That's his book. I have it in my
That's his book, yeah.
And I was thinking of doing it on my channel, but my connection's kind of fuzzy. So, Steve, if you want to do it sometime, I'd be happy to come on your channel and get some people in. The biology of this book.
But go, I mean, they've got a full hangout over there. Let's see if they're allowing anybody to go refute him, because they were supposed to bring him in when I was in there. They couldn't get a hold of him or whatever it was. Maybe they'll do it for you. I don't feel like dealing with them today, but
go over and at least, well, I'll at least I'll stay in here right now, but I'll just mute myself.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'll go.
I'm not listening to their feed.
I'm just going to listen. Feed. I'm not even going to list at it. But yeah, so
well, go find out. Go find out if they want anybody to engage with them first of all.
I will.
Or they're going to have an echo chamber.
Forward to make it even funnier, it's Dr. Anthony R. Silvestro and Jonathan Eckel. EV. I'm not sure what the EV stands for, but the forward is by Pastor Andrew Rappaport. Probably one of the stupidest people on the subject of evolution.
The guy that actually said that the Oort cloud is where blue giants are formed.
He's pretty stupid on science, period. But so Steve, if you want to set up a time,
we'll get something going.
People in, and I can run through this book, and it's hysterical.
Okay.
It is. I've made notes on it and everything. So
go to their live feed, will you though, and find out if they want. I'm not going to do any engagement with them today, but if you go find out if they want people to actually engage with him. I would listen to that. I would end this feed and I would listen to you and him have at it like you wouldn't believe. I'd be enthralled by that.
And Jade, before you leave, I never did get to say hi to you. Great to see you again.
Just Ned, it's been a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I haven't read his book. Yeah. You have it. So, anyways, yeah.
Oh yeah, and now part of it, book. Because what do you?
You're breaking up.
Tried to do it's kind of there's.
Jade, you're breaking up. Is it your interconnection or is it your computer? What causes you to break up so much? Oh, she's definitely broken up now. Jade. she's breaking up. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to end this hangout. I kind of do want to listen to that other hangout over there. So I tell you what, if you guys want to go over to Matt Slick's the Bible from the Wingnut hangout, I'll link it. The only thing I ask is, do me a favor, go over there and say hi from the Great Debate community. Say hey.
Oh, I've got
Steve says hi. Steve says hi from the Great Debate community, and then we'll just all go to the live chat and listen. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. Absolutely, that'd be fun.
I'm good.
All right, so I'm putting the link in the live chat now. 1 second. So go over there, tell them hi, and the entire Great Debate community has come over to listen to this guy and to let Jade in, and Jade wants to have a word with him because she's read his book. Okay? Sound good?
Outstanding.
Let's do it. Ned, thank you, sir. Negation of P. Always a pleasure, my friend. Negation. You are you underestimate yourself. I think your ability to debate is exceptional, and I look forward to you actually debating Kent Hovind. I'm going to try to make that happen.
I would absolutely love that. I mean, like I told you before, it would be a pleasure.
It would be a very, very interesting thing to listen to. So, anyways, guys, thanks for the hangout. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm heading over there now. So, bye.
Night.